What's going on? I am Nando.
And I'm DJ!
Hey, what are you trying to, spend some quality time with me or something? You want me to, fulfill my obligations and responsibilities? Get out of here. I'm Diggins.
And this is Mostly Nitpicking, a podcast where every week we pick apart a piece of pop culture by looking exclusively at the details. Woohoo!
Yeah!
Wow, the crowd's going wild. The watchers are going wild because they can't wait, chittering everywhere, because they can't wait to hear us talk about the big movie of the summer of 2011. If you really wanted to see a very specific trailer, I think, or something. Do you guys remember this? I'm pretty sure. Okay, this was 2011, so I don't know if this is right, but I'm pretty sure the Man of Steel trailer came out in theaters with Real Steel, and if you wanted to see the trailer first, you had to go see Real Steel to see it.
That's insane.
It was one of those. I don't remember if it could have been Dark Knight maybe, or Dark Knight Rises, but I don't think it was, because that, I feel like it was further up. Anyway, we're talking about Real Steel, the movie with Hugh Jackman. Because of Deadpool, kind of, and also because of AI, because there's a bazillion AI movies this year, and also because of the other person that's involved in this that's also involved in Deadpool. Did you guys notice that?
Anthony Mackie?
I mean, maybe, but no, not him.
I don't know.
The little boy.
No. Well, not that we know of. Again, these are all possible. Technically, any answer you give could be possible. Unless it's somebody that's dead. But even then, it's they'll resurrect people with computers. Yeah.
CGI.
I mean, I believe Evangeline Lilly's retiring from acting, so it can't be her.
Yeah, and what are we going to do? Replace her with Kate Beckinsale? Kate Beckinsale isn't even available unless she is. Let's check. But yeah, we can refilm all the other movies that she's in with Kate Beckinsale. That'd be great. But no, Sean Levy, the director of this, directed Deadpool as well. This is what he kind of not started with, because he started with a show or something. He was known for one other thing, but then this was one of his first big things. And then he goes on. Oh, Night at the Museums. Yeah, he worked on those. But yeah, then he goes on to do Free Guy, then Adam Project, then Deadpool and Wolverine. So this is actually kind of a useful text for understanding Deadpool and Wolverine. So we are going to talk about Real Steel. Before that, fellas, news. We got some news this week. Not that much, though. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, there's lots of real news, but not that. We're talking about Agatha Harkness and the Agatha All Along trailer. You guys, they put a trailer for Agatha All Along out.
Finally.
Finally, indeed. Did you know they were making this? Everybody forgot about this one?
I knew was because reminded by the trailer.
I knew because we've talked about it several times as a really silly thing that they announced when Catherine Hahn was really popular in WandaVision, and can't believe that they actually went through with.
I mean, when Catherine Hahn was very popular, that sentence has aged pretty well. She's still on top of the world as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, she's great. Nothing against Catherine Hahn.
They managed. I was going to say, they managed to catch two actors in here who I think are people who a lot of people are just oh yeah, I'll watch whatever she does. And that's pretty good for them.
Who's the other one?
The Parks and Rec, whatever her name is.
Corpse.
Oh, maybe upside down corpse of someone. Who could it be? No, what's her name?
Aubrey
Plaza.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Aubrey Plaza's people love her, and I think she's good. I like her, but I've seen many people online being I didn't give a shit about this, but now that I know Aubrey Plaza's in it, I'm down.
That's a good call out.
Also, the mom from Beau is Afraid, she's in this.
Okay.
So that's probably going to happen in this. Agatha Harkness is going to have sex with someone, and they're going to explode or die or whatever.
They don't
Deadpool's
explode;
probably
they
gonna
freeze.
That's right. Freeze. Yeah, that's what it is. That was a good. What'd you think of? Did you ever see that? DJ?
I don't think so. No.
DJ didn't. I did.
Yeah, you should watch it, DJ, because it's pretty weird. It's not good, but it's interesting.
I think it's good.
Sure. I guess it's not. I guess what I'll say is it's not good Hereditary or Midsommar, where it's this, oh my god, incredible, reinventing the horror genre. It's more good. Some people like it, some people don't, but takes big swings, kind of. That's more how I would read it.
Okay.
Especially, well, I'm not gonna spoil it, but there's some stuff at the end that's pretty wild that they get away with.
And it did
It's pretty
introduce one of the best new characters in recent film history.
Which one's that?
Birthday Boy Stabman.
Oh yeah, he was pretty cool. It's very important. DJ, do you want to take a guess? We're not going to tell you if you're right or wrong. What you think that character does? What you think? Describe Birthday Boy Stabman.
Stab or stat?
Stab.
With a B.
He obviously comes to your house on your birthday and he stabs open your presents and then reveals what they are to you. So you don't have to open them. Stabman will open them for you.
Birthday Boy Stabman. Please use his full name.
Birthday Boy Stabman. How close was I?
I mean, my internet died, so I'm going to say you were right there. For people that don't know,
We're keeping that in, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't even.
A long pause. It's because Nando's internet died.
Yeah, don't even say Diggins if it was right or wrong. I want to be surprised when I listen to this later.
All right.
I'm gonna guess he didn't get it right, but
I won't say a thing.
There's some context clues, but yeah, Agatha Harkness. What is that actor's name? Patti LuPone? Is that who that is?
Yeah, she is also a very famous Broadway actress.
Yeah, is she the one that yelled at those people? It's like, put your fucking phones away, because that's cool if that was her.
I don't remember who did that.
I'm gonna give her credit and say, yeah. She like during a performance just like broke the fourth wall, was like, put your fucking phones down.
Oh no, it's even better than that. This was so back in 2022 when COVID was a thing before now, like now when it doesn't a thing.
Yeah, it's over.
Except for Doug Imhoff, he's the only one that's got it. Jersey Doug, as we call him. Back when this was something you had to wear masks to theaters, someone took off their mask in the front row or something and Patti LuPone was like, put your mask back on. That's why you're in the theater or something. And then just yelled at him like, who do you think you are? It's pretty cool. And yeah, just right in the middle of company. I like
cool?
that. Yeah, I like it when the audience. Okay. I think it's great. I wish the movies could do it more when the show embarrasses the people for breaking the rules of the thing. Like, I wish there was a guy in the back of the theater who had a button they could use to press and they'd play that Deadpool and Wolverine thing every time someone took their phone out.
Hey, turn your fucking phone off, you fucking piece of shit.
Yeah.
One of those, yeah.
Because, yeah, I feel like there was a lot of those, too. There were stories where a couple Broadway stars interrupted a performance to yell about a phone or someone being, noisy or a mask thing. So
well, that's the benefit of live theater.
Yeah, anything can happen. Spider-Man can fall down or that. Those are the two. And maybe even when Spider-Man is falling down, he can call out some bad behavior in the audience.
As his life flashes before his eyes.
Yeah. You're not supposed to bring outside snacks. What did you guys think of the Agatha All Along and the House of Harkness / what were the other fake titles for this? Covenant of Chaos, Darkhold Diaries. What did you think of this trailer?
I'll let Diggins take the reins on this one.
I like the trailer as a trailer. I think it hints at being its own kind of weird, spooky thing that's sort of fun and like maybe a little scary. I have my doubts how much the show will actually be that. And I also have my doubts that it will actually be totally disconnected from anything else and actually be a self-contained story. Because I've just been burned too many times by Disney Plus shows. I can't trust anymore. So I do think it's a good trailer. I think it sort of hinted at the premise in a way that was good without like revealing too much. So now I actually have some idea of what this show even is. But I refuse to believe that it will actually be good until I've watched the whole thing.
What about you, DJ?
Yeah, I have a weird relationship with these for all the reasons that Diggins said, where I cannot watch it without thinking in the back of my head, wait a minute, this is going to be like, it's too tied to everything else for me to be like, I this won't be its own thing. it's just everything is too. It's too connected, and it upsets me. And because it's right, it's like if the trailer was bad, I'd be like, this is a bad trailer, and we can't enjoy things anymore because it's bad. But I'm like, oh, this might be interesting, but my cynicism gets in the way. So I don't know what to do besides buy a Men in Black style neuralizer and wipe my memory of all the horrible things Disney has done to me.
And that new Men in Black movie. If you could wipe your memory of that, that wouldn't be so bad either.
Yeah. Yeah. But it just, it ultimately makes me sad.
And I gotta go and contract myself 51st dates disease one day. Yeah, but I just think I'm living the same day every day for the rest of my life.
That'd be pretty sweet. But you might get scooped up by Adam Sandler and tricked. Oh, you know,
good point. Yeah. Am I willing to risk it?
Gotta watch out for him. Well, you're both right. The correct answer is it's a great show, Agatha House of Harkness, full of great mysteries, and it connects wonderfully to the MCU by having all the characters constantly referencing the big celestial head floating in the middle of the Pacific River, whatever. So, or Pacific Ocean. Well, it's a river now because of all the celestial parts.
Is that still there?
Yeah, I think it's a big plot point in Captain America: Brave New World, which I think we'll be getting a trailer for it a couple of days. You know, considering when we record these, Thursday is when that's rumored to come out. So I don't know if they're going to get into it, but apparently that's like a resource everyone is fighting over.
Okay.
We love resource management in these shows, you know?
Yes.
Kind of.
If there's one thing I love in my TV shows, it's talk about resources and the management thereof.
Yeah.
Yes. Nothing better.
Mm-hmm.
What else was interesting in this one? We saw all the witches, you guys. We love them. Patty LuPone's one. Shashir Zamata's one. The lady from the show, from WandaVision, Deborah Jo Rupp, is that her name? From 70 show. She's in there. So we love her.
That's my favorite.
Yep. Apparently she was a witch. Didn't know that. Didn't really come up in the last show she was in, which was this, like WandaVision, but look at that. And Billy, the little kid from Heartstopper, who is definitely the son reincarnated or something. Pretty good.
Fun.
Yep. He's pretty very cool. Fun. Some people on the internet are really excited. Some people are like, he's not as I don't know what you would call flamboyant in the comics as he is here, so they're mad about that. But besides that, you know, wears a little headband, so just like in the comics, which means it's good. Did either of you guys watch Mayor of Easttown or whatever that show's called?
Nope. No, but I heard it was good.
Yeah, so I hear that because it seems like this is also kind of going to do the parody thing where it's going to be like a Charmed episode, this episode, and the beginning part of the trailer seems to be aping off of the Mayor of Easttown vibe. So much so that, and this kind of got me in the show when when the guy says they found a body down by the water. Did you guys catch that?
No, I didn't.
Your ears perk up?
That's great, though.
No, yeah. Well, we didn't spend much of our time of our lives in America's okayest city like you did.
Yeah, that Delco accent and that
get destroyed.
I think that is one of the strangest sounding ones to me because you don't hear it that often, you know? Like in this movie, cowboy accent, New York accent, everybody's got the 5 or 6 accents down. We have one person doing everything. But just if you decided out of nowhere to make like Evangeline Lilly from Philly and have her do a really strong Philly accent, that would seem like she's from another planet. It'd be like that one character in the new Game of Thrones show who like has an accent no one can place, and everybody's like, what the fuck are they doing with her?
Right.
Yeah. That was pretty much it, though. I don't know. This one comes out in like September, I think, probably so it can overlap with Halloween.
They did seem to imply that it was coming out for the Halloween season.
Yeah, so that's good. You know, if for nothing else, I think we did as a society lose because of all the weird ways streaming works now. The seasonal episode of a TV show or thing, you know, like those are fun.
Yeah, that's true.
So excited for more of that. What Avenger do you think it would make the least sense, but is most likely to cameo in this? Ooh. And in what way? Who would you think who doesn't like? Because obviously, you know, Doctor Strange could show up or something, but like, who's a weird one?
Ant-Man. Maybe Ant-Man's going to show up and be like, I have some quantum things for you. Kang, you have to watch out for Kang.
Yeah.
Kang is coming.
And Catherine Hahn will be like, actually,
anymore.
I'm pretty sure we're going to be okay from Kang for another few months at least.
Yeah.
I hear that there's still, he's still spending some time changing his look because he decided he wanted to look different.
Yeah. Fillers. Nothing but fillers on this Kang. So we'll see what he looks like when that's all done. What about you, Diggins? What character can you not wait to see in Agatha and the House of Harkness or whatever?
I'm excited for Agatha All Along to be the place where they debut the new Black Panther.
Oh,
yeah, let's go. Get the kid in costume.
But a little Halloween costume. Those must exist in this universe,
They
Black
must.
Panther. Yeah. He'd probably get a better one than that. But also, it'd be like, remember when Arnold Schwarzenegger had a son with his maid? Secret son, and we all found out about it, and it turned out that secret son was like dressing like Conan the Barbarian for Halloween, and everybody was like, oh no, that's what this would be like. Not that this kid is, well, he's the secret son of T'Challa or whatever. But yeah, I think that kid will probably show up in a little costume.
And he'll show up, and then Agatha will be like, presto changeo, age uppo spell.
Yeah.
And then he'll turn into one of our popular contemporary black actors.
Just like Michael B. Jordan or something,
Yeah, someone, and they'll look directly into the camera and say, I'm Black Panther now.
I hope just like that. I'm Black Panther now.
Yeah.
I ate the fruit and everything. It's me. I'm Black Panther.
It's an herb.
That's true.
How dare you?
And it's all gone, but now they have a synthetic one. So hypothetically, they could make it for everyone. Which they should.
I have a lot of Black Panthers running around.
It's bullshit they're not sharing their herb with everyone,
Yeah,
even
don't they know you're supposed to pass.
Religious herb.
Yeah, exactly. It's bad. I mean, we won't get into it, but certain actors in those movies are seem kind of like weirdos. But also, if I had to pick one actor from the MCU looks at background, I'm going to say I hope this is where Harry Styles shows up. I hope he shows up in the end credit scene of this too. He just walks in and goes, oh, hey, everybody, it's me. And then walks away.
Star Fox.
Yeah. And then my friend Patton Oswalt.
Favorite.
Yeah.
Now, who wants some questionable consent?
From which one? Both of them, kind of. Pip the Troll isn't quite as bad because it's like it's not his main superpower, but he gets up to some business that I'm sure we would look, back on not quite as fondly as you would hope. I was gonna say maybe they could make their own Avengers. Hercules, Clea, him, the Arrows, the Scorpion.
So we're gonna have
have like a, Island of Misfit Toys Avengers who never got to actually play the game, but like they were the Avengers for sure.
This is our post-credit scenes. We abandoned Avengers, and of course they would be fighting against the leader.
But right, yeah, he could be him.
But he is coming back though.
That's true. He might show up in a certain trailer probably in a couple of days.
I imagine.
They could fight the 10 Rings, which is now part of the criminal underworld, according to the end of Shang-Chi.
Right. That's right.
They could fight the Scorpion, like I was saying, from the Spider-Man bit that they definitely don't count. They could fight Venom from the 2 post-credit scenes where he goes into the MCU and then leaves.
I know this doesn't count. But can they fight Mr. Mind?
Could they fight Mr. Mind? I mean, sure. I think so. I think even if they can't fight Mr. Mind, I'm sure there's a Mr. Mind type in the MCU that they could fight, and we don't have to name him, and then everybody could just kind of put whatever they want on him. Like,
then again, with how much WB is stripping everything for parts, they could probably just buy the rights to Mr. Mind.
That's true.
That's a good idea.
Have any of us tried? I haven't checked. Let's see, eBay. Yeah. Or like Temu or something. I don't use Temu, so I get a lot of ads for it though. Let's see, Mr. Mind. Here's what comes up when you look for that. Oh, action figures of Shazam. Okay. Yep. No, it doesn't look like it's up yet, but I'm sure now
That's
that
a
I
bummer.
search for it once, I'll get a bazillion replies every time
You get
something
Mr.
happens.
Mind action figure
Yeah.
and every kind of Mr. Mind Funko Pops.
Mhm.
You're gonna get all those.
And listen, some of these things I don't want. I don't know. Some of these things aren't even like things I would actually want, but they're kind of interesting. Old Captain Marvel comics of him holding a grandma in space. Kind of want to see what's going on there, but throwing a nuke like a football, that's kind of interesting. I guess that's the first appearance of Mr. Mind, apparently, so there's that.
Wait, who's throwing the nuke like the football? Shazam
Oh.
or Mr. Mind?
No, Shazam. Mr. Mind isn't in this, so I'll describe the cover. It says Captain Marvel on it, big letters, big star behind it, like the middle of the Captain America shield for some reason. And then, Shazam, but like I said, like a quarterback's throwing, like if it's not an atom bomb, what they're going for is like a torpedo, because it's pretty big. It's like the width of his body at least, like a football. And then there's a sailor in front giving the thumbs up, looking at us. So maybe he's like, they put that, cover out, and everybody was like, wait a second. I don't think the sailors would approve of that, Captain Marvel. And they had to be like, let's put a fucking sailor on the cover. That way everyone will know it's cool. I think that would be good if all comics did that. Just a little sailor on the corner, approving or disapproving of what's going on in the comic. But, that's expensive, I guess. Yeah. So Agatha, it's coming out, you guys. Presumably.
Yeah. It's only in 3 months, or 2 months, which to me might as well be an eternity. I live eternally in this present moment.
That's right.
That's fair.
But we also have, so next week, I don't know what we're doing. Are we going to do Twisters next week?
I mean, it's coming out, right?
It is coming out.
Exciting?
I don't know. Are people into it?
Well, how many people went into the booths? Diggins, did you go into the Twister booth that you found?
You know what? I didn't, because so many people were using it and I had to get to my movie.
Oh, okay. The demand was that high, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not seeing a ton of seats sold out.
That's not a joke, by the way.
theater.
That really is what happened.
Oh.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah, so many people were using it.
I guess the Twisters hype is real then.
I mean, that's
Why
assuming.
else would you get one of those?
Yeah, that's assuming that translates 1-to-1 to people standing in a big windy tunnel and going. And now next thing I want to do is watch the movie about the tornadoes. There aren't some people that were just like, what the fuck is this?
I'm surprised you don't want to jump right on this, Nando, considering it has your favorite guy in the whole world, Glenn Powell.
It does have Glenn Powell, a person that I thought was a movie star until I saw Hitman. I don't think he's fine in it. I'm just curious about this because I was definitely very wrong about the Tom Cruise Glenn Powell vehicle, and I don't know if Tom Cruise is like working on this, but I have seen him. He went to see it the other day with his good friend Glenn Powell. But I was wrong about Top Gun Maverick, and this is pretty much that. It's like an old movie that they did a new one of for dads. The only difference is it doesn't seem like any of the characters from the original are in this.
No,
which
it's
makes
just a
sense.
new movie.
Yeah, most of them are dead. Because I'd say the main 4 stars of Twister 1 are obviously there's what's her name? The woman who's like cool. Oh man.
Well, all women are queens, Nando, so you're gonna have to be more specific.
That is true.
She's I want to say it's Helen Hunt, but I'm really bad at this because there's a couple of women with similar names who I think are all Helen Hunt. There we go. Good.
Name a woman.
Yeah, I got one. It's Helen Hunt. So she's still alive as far as I know. I should actually double check that. And then Carrie Elwes also still alive, but then Bill Paxton. Yep, and Philip Seymour Hoffman are the other 2 leads of that movie.
Oh,
so
rip.
Yeah, maybe they can get him back with like CGI, smiling ghosts in the middle of the tornado.
We're going to use AI to resurrect their corpses.
Don't tell Nicolas Cage. He's very scared of the AI, apparently. Did you see that this week? I don't know.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know where this came from. I guess he's doing interviews for... Yeah. He's doing interviews for that Longlegs movie or something. Which apparently is very good. I feel like maybe we'll end up doing that unless it's really scary, and then probably not. But Yeah, he's talking about all his future stuff, like how AI is bad and he's going to be Spider-Man, which those two things usually don't comport. Like he's going to have to use some AI to finish the Spider-Man, especially if Sony's involved. I don't trust him, but that would be kind of cool, I guess. I don't know. How do we think Nick Cage is doing these days?
Good.
How much money does he have? I feel like that's a good judge.
No.
Of,
He's no longer deeply in debt and can choose to just do projects that he wants to. So I think he's doing good.
Well, that's definitely progress.
Yeah, you know what? I guess because last movie he was.
That's been true for years now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dream Scenario was a very kind of cool movie that people liked.
That was one of them.
Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, pretty good. Maybe not incredible, but not, what was that movie? Jiu-Jitsu or whatever? It's not that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's done a bunch of other movies that I have never heard of. Oh yeah, Renfield. I forgot about that. Mm-hmm. That was pretty good.
We haven't done a Nick Cage movie in quite some time.
Yeah. Well, maybe he'll be in a certain Deadpool movie as a certain on fire bicycle man.
We'll
see. Yeah, but, I wouldn't, honestly, I think that one's more on the likely side than not.
He does have a movie
others, at least.
Coming out next week, I think.
Yeah, it's apparently a really scary horror movie called Long Legs that I probably don't think I can. I don't think I could do it.
He's playing a serial killer.
Yeah, it seems like it has Silence of the Lambs vibes. So yeah, it's pretty cool, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that is pretty cool. Yeah.
And he's gonna be Spider-Man in live action and Spider-Man Noir at the show, or something. Cool. I hope Madam Web shows up. I know it's in the past in a different universe, but still, she can travel. The web connects them all, so hypothetically, she could go into their webs. And yeah, that'll be probably the post-credit scene of that. Her, Harry Styles, they'll all pop up and be like, "We don't count. We just want to check in. Everything go great? All right, goodbye." Speaking of everything going great, you guys, Real Steel, a movie that came out 2011, back when everything was going great.
13 years ago.
Yep.
And a movie we'll talk about that takes place in 2027, so we're only 3 years away.
Mm-hmm.
Can't wait, guys.
You know what? This is probably the closest I've ever seen to one of these.
Is it 2027? I thought it was actually even earlier.
Unless I misheard.
They talk about a couple of years that had happened in the past. There's a couple of things tied to 2014, I remember. I do think it's set in somewhere in what DJ said.
2027.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Whoever won IMDb, let's look it up or whatever.
Yeah. But yeah, we got Real Steel, the Hugh Jackman vehicle, directed by Sean Levy, Deadpool 3 director, and Diggins, because you won the IMDb B as in spelling bee, I believe. Right. Oh, DJ's getting ready. Dance,
shadow
up,
boxing.
DJ. Bam, boom, boom, bam. What did you? What is the
doing
IMDb
all of his
stuff,
things in front of his mirrored IMDb robot that will teach him how to do IMDb's good. Which actually, so let me back up a minute. So here at Mostly Nitpicking, we play a little game called the IMDb B as in spelling bee, where my two esteemed co-hosts have to tell me or guess what the IMDb summary for this movie is. Now, you might be asking yourselves, where does IMDb get those summaries? Well, I will tell you. They have a series of robots that are not trained by people shadowboxing at them, actually. The robots, instead, come from the future. They find them at the end of time portals that open up randomly over the unstable ground that IMDb.com headquarters is built over. And they find them and they ferret them away. They fix them up, and then the robots wake up and they tell them the summaries of movies that already came out. Now, the trouble is sometimes the robots aren't just from the future, but also from alternate realities. So sometimes they give the summaries for movies that are slightly different than the one that actually came out in our reality, which is why the summaries are wrong sometimes. But I have the IMDb summary for Real Steel, the 2011 Hugh Jackman vehicle, in front of me right now, and I'm definitely not vamping because I don't. And
You're gonna definitely tell us how good it is, right?
I think this might be one of the alternate reality robots, actually.
Uh-oh.
Oh no!
Not like a crazy different alternate reality. It's not like the alternate reality where we're all chameleons or something, but it's the alternate reality where like, you know, maybe we have a little horn on our head.
Oh.
Okay. All right.
Well,
Okay.
as the loser of last week, DJ, I would like you to go first.
Okay. All right. Real Steel. Let's go. Okay. And okay. An amateur robot fighter and ex-boxer must work with his estranged son to become the next ultimate fighting robot champions.
All right.
Okay. I'm going to say a down on his luck boxer and his, let's say, precocious son. That's definitely what it is. And his newfound son.
His newborn.
The son he never knew before. Okay. Down on his luck boxer and his, the son he's recently reunited with, teach a robot to box so that they could win prize money and, hang out with each other and stuff.
Right. Okay. You guys stayed a little too close to our reality.
Oh,
I think.
Okay.
Oh man.
Didn't go enough into an alternate reality. There's like one thing one of you did that I could maybe give it based off of, but it's pretty minor. And I'm looking at the trivia right now.
Wow.
I bet it sucks.
Yeah. Although, you know what? I bet this movie has some fun trivia because of all the background nonsense. All the stuff that's like, oh, that car has a little advertisement on it for, I don't know, Batman v Superman 8 or something. This horrible world they all live in.
If only I hadn't told you the one cool trivia thing that I knew before we started recording.
I already forgot what that was, but I think if you said it, I'd remember it.
All right. Well, fortunately, there are lots of other cool bits of trivia in the movie that I could.
You sound convinced.
That I
That's
could do
great.
this tiebreaker based off of.
Because we certainly can't play the name game.
No. Well, there's like a couple of stars in this movie, but I wouldn't say there's that many.
Nah, I mean, it's the Hugh Jackman off.
I mean,
The Hugh Jackman
off.
please.
Yeah, as much as... I mean, there's like, there's a couple of famous actors in this. Let's
There's
not,
Anthony Mackie.
let's give him some credit, yeah.
Evangeline Lilly.
And then a couple other people. So, all right. Well, I think we need to give the people a break from the name off before we do another hour-long one.
Yeah, but we don't want to. Don't we want to do a jack off?
I mean, as much as we want to do a Jackman off, as long as DJ wants to do a Jackman off, yes, that's
I do not want
as
to.
long as DJ wants to do that.
Do not want to do Jackman off.
I bet I can name what, like 10 characters he's been, if 8 of them are Wolverine.
I bet you could too.
No, yeah, I'm wondering now. I don't even know if I could. You know what? I could name a couple, but
I don't remember the name of his guy in The Prestige.
that's one of the ones I do remember, or at least I remember maybe his stage name. But I think that would be enough for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you do it?
I feel like DJ might just know, or you honestly both might just know this one.
Fun.
But I'll try it.
Okay.
So the final fight in this movie is actually not in particulars, but in the generalities of it, is largely based on a real boxing match. Can either of you name either of the two participants in that boxing match?
How do you want us to do this?
Yeah.
I guess name me. We'll go in order.
Okay.
Or so whoever Nando decides goes first. You give me two people, then the other person gives me two people. If you both got one, then I guess I have to. Then we compete for the second one. If you both get two, then I guess I'm coming up with a new game.
All right. I'll
and
go
obviously,
first.
if
Then,
one
I do
person
have
gets
two.
one or
I don't
two,
know
and
if
the
they
other person
fought.
gets less, then that person wins.
That's fair. Yeah. So I'll go first. Like I said, I don't know if this was a fight, but I do think either of these guys could be like stand-ins for one of the other ones. I'll say Mike Tyson and Sugar Ray Leonard.
Okay.
I was going to say Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield.
Okay.
I thought about that. Yeah.
All three of those names are wrong.
Oh.
Okay.
So we go again.
Okay. I mean, I don't know if it's any of these guys. Like, I don't think these guys box each other. I don't know. Let's say Muhammad Ali and Rocky Marciano.
All right.
I was going to say Muhammad Ali and George Foreman.
George Foreman. That's a good one.
DJ is 100% correct.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah.
In the famous match between Muhammad Ali and George Foreman, Ali utilized the rope-a-dope, where he played very defensively and wore George Foreman down before taking him out when George Foreman was all worn out.
Oh, I read this as like some sort of really weird, I don't know, weight class thing where it was like a humongous guy versus a little tiny man.
We'll get to the nitpicks on that one.
But yeah,
We
interesting.
will get to the nitpicks.
All right. Well, there you go.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was the best I could do for trivia for Real Steel. So if you have complaints, send them to
take him up with
@ZippyByDay on Twitter.
Nice.
He will handle all complaints about the tiebreaker.
Because that boy is on Twitter a lot.
Yeah.
He's got to get off Twitter. This week has been just not good for his mental health.
Wow.
Way too much.
Has any
Twitter.
week ever been good for anyone's mental health?
Fair.
But anyway, the actual summary, as told by the time-traveling robot, from an alternate reality, it turns out, is in a near future where robot boxing is a top sport, a struggling ex-boxer feels he's found a champion in a discarded robot. So you see, your guys' big problem is that you mentioned the sun and didn't mention the discarded robot.
Makes sense.
You didn't make it sound like he was the one who fixed up the robot and wanted to make it a champion instead of the sun, which is what actually happens in the movie.
Yeah, that's insane. Okay, cool.
Fascinating.
But yes,
fun movie or fun summary.
DJ, as Nando's cold streak continues.
Yep.
You, as our esteemed winner, get to first tell us. You get the exclusive world premiere opinion on Mostly Nitpicking. What did you think of Real Steel 2011, starring Hugh Jackman?
I'm so conflicted on this movie because, like, on paper, I should like this movie. It's like robot punching. And I by the way, did not see this movie when it came out in theaters. I saw it for the first time for this pod. And, I feel like maybe if I saw it in 2011, 21-year-old teacher would have been like, yeah, this is awesome. But, I feel like the promise of awesome robot fighting is too little, and the actuality of bitchy Hugh Jackman yelling at people is, fully realized, and it makes me sad. And it's it's too long. It's over 2 hours, and that's just way too much. And I needed the version of this movie that was just the robot punches. I need the quibified version. I think that's what I needed. I think I needed the quibified version of this movie. That's also 90 minutes. Every episode could have been like a new fight, because the problem is, not really a spoiler, in like the middle of the movie where it should be a lot of the cool robot fighting, it's just shrunken down to like a montage, and that's less fun. And I Hugh Jackman's character is like so one note and so unlikable. I mean, I guess that's the point. He's not doing a bad job, but it's just not an overall like super fun experience. So I don't know. It's not bad. It's definitely not bad. It's for me, it's like a very like 6 out of 10, where like I want to like it more, but I just don't like this version of it, because this should be more of like an anime, and it's not. So yeah, those are my thoughts on this movie. Nando, what did you think about Real Steel, starring Hugh Jackman?
Well, starring Hugh Jackman, I actually have seen this movie before, although I don't think I saw it in the theaters. I think I watched it at home after it came out. So I'm somewhat familiar. Like, I remember most of it and kind of the vibe. It's not great, and I don't think. Actually, no. You know what? I think some of the performances in it are good enough. Like, I think Hugh Jackman does an okay job, except for one aspect of his performance, which we'll get to. I think the kid's okay. Kids in these movies are annoying. I think the robot stuff looks all right. And I think the arc is like any of these wrestling sports movies, or, pretty predictable. Overall, I think I kind of liked it. I don't think it was great. It definitely isn't great. But I think the thing with a boxing movie is it's such a clear formula, and like it's so easy to track. And I know it's like they obviously deviated from it a little bit here with part of the relationship between Hugh Jackman and the son, partially like all of his gambling and stuff. But I think overall it feels like a very competently written and produced boxing movie with some robots. Robots are kind of fun. I think this is the kind of movie that you could, like, first of all, in 2023, 2024, whatever, this would go straight to streaming. This would be on Netflix or something.
Yes.
But overall, I think you could put this on and more or less have a good time. It's a good sign. I started watching it. Hannah was in like the other room. I told her, I was like, I gotta watch this for the thing. So I had I had put the earphones on because I watch it through the Roku TV, and it lets you do that, which I love. So it wouldn't bother her. And then when we got to the last 15 minutes and they started like talking about the big fight, or maybe it was as it was going on and they had the robot in the corner, Hannah was like, "Can you put the volume up? I want to hear the end of it." So it's like a little bit engaging. That being said, I'm not surprised this wasn't a huge hit. And I think in general, it just kind of looks dumb. Like, the premise feels dumb and silly in a way that I think a lot of people who would kind of enjoy it probably like, well, I'm not going to watch that. But yeah, I think it's okay. What about you, Diggins? What do you think of Real Steel?
I think I feel almost 100% exactly the opposite as DJ feels.
Oh, okay. I can't remember what DJ specifically said.
So, like, if I haven't seen this movie before. I watched it for the first time today. And if I had seen this movie back in 2011, I think I would have watched it and been like, yeah, I don't know. It's like a fine, kind of family sports movie with some robots. Like, that's fine. And I would have more or less liked it, but, not thought it was particularly notable. But now I watch it and I'm like, man, they don't make them like this anymore.
Yeah, Real Steel. Classic.
Oh, Diggins. You're the best.
Because nobody will ever let a protagonist be a piece of shit like Hugh Jackman in this movie is anymore.
Facts.
And that's the other way in which DJ and I have the opposite opinion. My favorite part of this movie is Hugh Jackman just being an awful human being. I love how bad he sucks.
He sucks so bad, dude.
He used to be bad, and I guess he kind of still is as Wolverine, but like, he used to be a shitty guy, doing a prestige at you. That was a pretty bad move of that man. And now this, can't trust him.
Yeah, so no, I rather enjoyed this movie. I don't think it's like great or like perfect. It definitely has a fair share of problems. I know how to use words. Did you know that?
Words are tough.
It's a good thing my entire income doesn't rely on me speaking. Anyway.
Yeah, it's a good thing that our future of our planet doesn't rely on that either. Otherwise we'd be in big trouble.
Good point.
But we're not. So it's fine.
We're mixing our metaphors here.
Yeah. Classic Watchers holdover from last week.
But anyway, it first of all, it's not too long. I think it's pretty well paced, so 2 hours is fine. But I do think first of all, the setting, like, this is more realistic, certainly, but the fact that it's this like out there sci-fi premise of robot boxing, but the actual like aesthetic of the world it's the present day, except there are big robots who do robot boxing, and like literally everything else looks like the present, makes it like feel goofier than it should. I don't know that I have any other problems with it. I genuinely, like, I'm making some jokes. I do love that Hugh Jackman is like a really bad person at the start of this movie, because that means when he goes through the arc of bonding with his son and becomes a better person, that feels more, like he's actually changed.
You just love a huge piece of shit.
I love a huge piece of shit, and I love seeing a huge piece of shit become a better person. And the reason, and so, like, instead of, say, some ants man who are never actually a bad person in any way, shape, or form, but people say they are, and then he does the same things he's been doing for his entire life, except now because it's during a movie, people think it makes him a good person. Instead, we have a man who is absolutely, definitely a bad person, who the course of the movie becomes a good person, and I'm like, I care about this change because it's real.
Nice.
And I wasn't there for the robot fights for the most part, because most of the robot fights are kind of boring. I think the last one, and I think the two professional ones, the last one and the one with the two-headed robot, I think those are really fun. I think every other fight is kind of boring.
The one in Borderlands doesn't suck.
The one where the guy's got sledgehammer hand is cool.
That one's okay, but yeah. So which is all to say, I actually like the human drama more. Again, a complete opposite of DJ, and I think it is surprisingly good for that. If only because I feel like we don't make these anymore. So because I didn't watch it until 13 years after it came out, I feel like I ended up with a higher opinion of it than I would have otherwise. But, it's good. I think it's worth watching. I think it's a huge insult to say it's a streaming movie.
I'm just saying this premise is a streaming movie, for sure. Netflix is buying this. I'm not saying the quality of it, but just like biggest star on earth, like Hugh Jackman, megastar, robot, high concept, sci-fi, like father and son comedy kind of thing. That's right to Netflix. 100%.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree.
Very well. I'll allow it.
Yeah.
But it's way better than Atlas, which is the, I think, closest equivalent we have right now.
What do you mean? Atlas is a humongous hit. Everyone loves it. It made Jennifer Lopez's career so good that she couldn't do her tours anymore because she was all busy with Atlas stuff. Right?
That's right.
Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I like this movie. I think it's worth watching. I think if you're going to watch a streaming movie, you might as well watch a good movie like this one instead of a bad movie like an actual streaming movie.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I agree. I think you made a good point. I can't remember what it was. Oh, no. I know what it was. Yeah, he's a bad guy. The robot fighting and stuff. I do think this movie could benefit from like making the robots different from each other in more than like two scenes. Because like there's the one with two heads, that's kind of memorable, and then there's the one that's a bunch of scrap and has a hammer for an arm, and then the rest of them are all like yellow or blue or whatever. And those, if there was rules that you could have like 15 arms on your robot if you wanted to, that would make these more fun.
That's a good idea.
Like Pacific Rim, I think kind of gets at that aesthetic and that idea a little bit more fun.
But also a better robot fighting choreography too. Like there was just way more going on there.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, yeah, Pacific Rim was a much better version of this at being, a big robot. But I feel like this doesn't feel like a kaiju kind of movie. Like it is supposed to be like a boxing movie, and I do think boxing is just kind of boring to watch.
Oh, hush your mouth.
Compared to kaiju fighting. Oh yeah, it's just a bunch of punching and stuff. All the fights are the same, kind of.
I mean, listen, they call it robot boxing, but this is robot wrestling, right?
Yes.
Like, it is sometimes, yeah. It's complicated, but
because we wanted a sport that was the limits of, well, we'll talk about it, right? But the limits of human fighting, people wanted blood, so they went for robot fighting. No holds bar, rip their heads off. Yeah. That's what they wanted. Whoever they is.
Us. The people.
I guess.
Yeah.
The sickos.
Listen, we all want to watch blood sports, okay? We know that.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
And I think, I don't know, if this was on TV, do you think you would watch it?
Would I watch?
Nando? It's hard if I can't skip through commercials.
I don't need to speculate on that because we have a TV show called Robot Wars, and I have watched it.
Yeah, I guess I'm thinking this boxing one, though, where it's not cool and they don't have saw blades and shit. They're just all a guy, a different muscly guy with a hat on. And then they punch each other.
Like, for the first few times at least, Nando, that's way cooler because they're not just little squares of metal that flip each other over. That's like, I think you're forgetting how lame Robot Wars is. A show I watched many episodes of.
Nah, Robot Wars was sick as hell. I think many of the Robot Wars fighters could have killed Adam if they wanted to. Good strategy and timing. I think they could chop his little head off.
Adam has nothing. Adam is an undersized robot that, punches a little quick.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, but he can take a beating, DJ. That's his strength. You can punch him all day and he won't stay down.
I have questions about that too.
Yeah, why don't they cover him in pillows? Didn't seem like it would be against the rules.
Well, it's not clear what the rules for the robots are. They come in all different shapes and sizes, sometimes multiple heads, which I'm still not sure how that's an advantage, but,
Yeah.
That's something.
It's part of the gimmick. It's why that guy is cool, and why he's like one of the 3 robots whose names I can remember.
Right. If you're not dancing, you're not doing it right.
Yeah. Let's see. What else is interesting about this? What did you guys think of Hugh Jackman overall in this? This is Hugh Jackman post X-Men Origins Wolverine, but pre the Wolverine in Japan. So that's like that era. I don't know what you would call this era of Hugh Jackman's career. Let's see, what else is he up to?
The down on his luck era.
Kind of, yeah. Well, I would say maybe the transition era, because like you have like Rise of the Guardians, where he plays a bunny, movie 43, but at the same time you have Les Mis and then Prisoners. Like I think he's transitioning to being like a good actor in good movies, but also there's Greatest Showman in the middle of there, so that doesn't track. I don't know.
It's just the interwolverellum.
Yeah,
it
really is.
Interstitial period between 2 periods of Wolverine.
I like that.
Yeah. But yeah, and I think at this point he was like a huge star. Like he could sell a movie like this.
Yes.
Jackman. He was a huge Jackman.
He was a huge Jackman. Anybody know how much this cost and how much it made? Want to take a guess?
Okay. It cost 80 million and it made 350 million.
I think this actually didn't do super well. I'm going to say it cost 70 million and it made 100 million.
So I actually think DJ's pretty close. I'm trying to find the number here. According to some websites, give the production budget, so people watchers as $80 million, and some do it as 110. 110 seems like it's the more official one, but the box office is just under 300 million. So it did all right.
Okay.
Made money. And, what we could say about a lot of these movies, so there you go.
That's true.
But yeah, what do we think of Hugh Jackman in this?
I think he's good.
Like I said, yeah.
I think
he's a little one note for me. I get the redemption arc to Dickens' this point, but it's just a lot of kind of just like generic screaming and being sad. But even it's just screaming and being sad at the end too, just not an asshole.
I think, I mean, listen, it's not an especially deep movie. I like the arc of it, but I'm not going to argue that it's like some deep, emotionally resonant thing. It's very much like hokey sports movie sort of thing that you would expect from this movie. But I think he does sell it pretty well. Where he really seems like a piece of shit at the start of the movie. You believe that he doesn't care about this kid. But I think he also, I think he handles the transition between those two states well. Because I think it'd be easy to just sort of flip from one mode to the other. And I feel like Hugh Jackman does a good job of threading the needle of like going from fully like, I don't care if this kid lives or dies, to like warming up to him throughout the movie to the end when he like actually wants to be a father to him. And I think this movie would have been a lot worse if you had someone who was more binary with it. So I think he's doing a good job. I think the kid is annoying, but he's supposed to be annoying. And also, I never want to blame child stars for not being great actors because they're children.
Yeah, it's tough. That's a tough one.
Yeah, I think Hugh Jackman's pretty good in this. Like, I agree. I think he's meeting the assignment. Like he's got it together. I think yeah. I think he's okay. I think he's fine. He has a lot of energy. I appreciate that. And yeah, he's drunk. He's flirting with ladies and stuff. That's interesting. You know, he's got those vibes. I do think like making him go and immediately kill the purple robot with gambling is like a pretty solid beat for like, this guy just is bad. He's not, he'll never learn.
That's when I was like, oh, this movie's pretty good actually. When instead of that being the moment where he starts coming back on top, they're like, no, he's got further to fall.
Mm-hmm.
You know what it's good that this movie did. I'm glad they didn't linger on like more of his like backstory. It's like he used to be a boxer. He was a good boxer. That was his thing. Whereas like, yeah, his father was a real piece of shit. Like, I feel like if that movie was made today, like a writer would be like, well, we just have to flesh this character out more by going into his backstory. I'm glad they didn't do that.
I'm scared if people don't think there's a reason he's a jerk, then they'll think he's a jerk instead of just recognizing that this is a work of fiction and tolerating behavior from people that they wouldn't in real life.
Yeah.
Yep.
What did you think of the robots in general? Like, I think that forgetting about the design being kind of not even like boring, just like, I don't know. A lot of them kind of look the same. I think the CGI is pretty good, except for one robot. I don't know why this one kind of felt the worst, but overall, the shots like that first one where it's fighting the bull, I was like, that looks pretty good.
Yeah, the bull wasn't bad either.
Nando, the reason why they might feel that way to you is there's actually quite a lot of practical work in this movie.
Oh.
Like, they actually built animatronics for a lot of the robots and used them in scenes. So, like, in many of, like, the scenes, especially the ones where they're fairly heavily interacting with people, those are actually just, like, really physical props that were there. I mean, obviously they were touched up with CGI. They didn't look like that on set. But, yeah, no, that's part of what makes this movie look so good, is they did that sort of blend.
That is the nice thing about that your robots can kind of look crappy. And it's like, they don't have to fully look like real robots. Which is a smart design choice, I guess.
Yeah, having them be kind of like grimy and like secondhand helps, because then that makes, if they were like shiny and sleek, then they would look fake next to actual people. So like the fact that they're sort of busted helps them blend in with like a live action background.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. All right, let's do some wheel stuff. So we got a fair amount of things on this wheel I think we can get into. You guys excited for wheel?
I'm very excited.
There's nothing
Wheel
on this
steel?
earth I love more than the wheel. I would give my firstborn child to the wheel.
Wow, that's extreme.
You better. Because you just said you would. And the wheel heard you. And
Yeah, you can't lie to the wheel, bro.
yeah. I just spun the wheel. Tick, 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 tick. Landed on one of mine. A rebel moon's worth of grain. This is just kind of about the beginning of the movie. Remember how, like, folksy and like, you know, Texas country it was, whatever, like, they were going for? I was not expecting that. I kind of forgot that that's, like, the first third of this movie.
Mm-hmm.
At one point, the kid goes back to Hugh Jackman, and he has a piece of grain, like a thistle or whatever it's called, out of his mouth, like a cigarette, like a cartoon character, you know? Like,
Yep.
and that's pretty fun. I like that about this.
Yeah. It's a good choice. It's a good choice.
Yeah. And it's also, I think if we did have these, this would be what we would do with them. Like, Texas would have them fight animals, you know? Other places would too, but like you could find it in Texas pretty easily.
Texas would do this comically unethical thing.
Yeah.
Now it's obviously illegal, right? Like,
it must
now,
be.
you cannot
Bullfighting is illegal now.
Yeah.
I don't
Right.
think replacing the human with the sword with a big robot that can punch the bull so hard that it gets a brain injury is going to be better.
So how do they get around that? Do they change the laws? It like did everyone just get cool with like beating up bulls? Because like this is like I can't tell if they're making fun of Texas or like Americans or like fuck bulls. Like I can't tell what like the commentary is here.
I mean, you saw the Ren Fair show. It's that, right? Like, I feel like Kevin Durant's character just owns this whole town and is able to do whatever he wants. And he just does.
I was going to say, considering the character who runs this is supposed to be like the most evil character in the movie, it's just illegal.
Right.
He just set it up because he's unethical.
All right.
Yeah.
But the people love it. No one's like, oh my gosh, how could we? Everyone's like, yeah.
Well,
They're taking parts of the
People love
robot
the
home.
Bloodsports.
Like, they're psyched.
Yeah.
Well,
The parts of the robot that definitely would have killed them if it had just flown even like a inch or two higher.
Yeah.
I'm glad you guys brought this up because I have a follow up with this. So in this, wait, Nando, did you ever summarize the movie?
What? Who does
Oh,
that?
my
That's somebody's
goodness.
job. I forgot about
What?
that.
Oh,
man.
we almost let him off easy.
I
Good catch,
genuinely
DJ.
forgot.
Good catch.
Oh my
I was so
gosh!
distracted by wheel steel. I was like, I want to get to
we
that
wanted
before
the
I
wheel
forget.
so
It
I
rhymes
was
with
so
real steel.
blinded by love of
Oh.
the wheel that I, for a second, I
no.
lived in a world where Nando didn't need to summarize this movie.
I even put it on in the background, which is what I usually do to help myself remember what it is. And that, you know what it is? I hadn't written the grade one down on my little list, and I saw that and went, oh yeah, it's got to be on the list. And then I immediately
Listeners must be like, when is this summary coming?
Oh,
We need the
I
summary.
look
People
forward
know.
to the wave of comments on the Discord about how we didn't do the summary until they get to this point and realize that they have to retract their comment now.
The real time comments are great.
Yeah.
I live for those.
Those are the best. All right. Well, I will summarize this movie, as is my duty and right and privilege and whatever. Now, as we know, I'm going to summarize the movie. This was my plan all along. I'm editing this. No, I'm not gonna change the editing order. Do you guys remember how I said it was a country movie before?
Yeah.
Well, that's how this movie starts. In the country, baby. Sweet home to Alabama, but more like Texas. Hugh Jackman is...
It is Texas. They say that out loud.
It is very, very explicitly Texas as you get more into it. And a man, Hugh Jackman, down on his luck because he's wearing a T-shirt and has hair that's not all combed and stuff.
Disgusting.
As we will see, he will glow up throughout the movie. He still looks like Hugh Jackman, and it still feels like he gets lots of random road like sex from women. That seems like that's part of his whole deal, because he starts flirting with women. So like, I do think this is another one of those movies where they try to make Hugh Jackman look like a normal human, and it's like he doesn't though. He's Hugh Jackman, but I appreciate it. You know, they tried. He lives out of his trailer or something, which is also his little home for his robot. Now he has one fighting robot now. It's quite old. but he seems to take it around the country on, like the circuit of doing stuff with the robot at the fair. So for this instance, he's going to a fair run by Kevin Durand, the actor, not the basketball player, the monkey himself, whatever his name was, Big Caesar or whatever they called him in that last Planet of the Apes movie. And he is like a tough guy who, Hugh Jackman owes money to because he owes money to everybody everywhere. But he's going to win it all back with a big fight against a big bull, because you could bullfight, like we were saying in this universe, with a robot. And by fight, sometimes it's like dodging it, but sometimes it's like punching it and tossing it and just like beating it up. It's pretty awkward. Now, the robots, I would say, what would you guys guess? Maybe like somewhere between 10 and 12 feet tall, something like that.
Yeah.
They're substantially bigger than people.
Yeah, they're bigger than people, but I wouldn't say they're like twice as big as people. But also Hugh Jackman is a very tall man. But he has, like I said, he has this one. What is it? Is this Atlas or something like that? What's it called?
Ambush.
There you go. Yeah.
Like the bug.
That's right. Yeah, like the bug, and like that the bull's gonna ambush it by murdering it. So Hugh Jackman does this bullfight, gets this one robot ambushed, destroyed by the bull. The bull like kills it too. And you know what else is weird? The bull's not afraid of the robot. The bull's just like, time to bullfight this robot. That's pretty hardcore of that bull. But yeah, ambush gets destroyed. It's like head gets ripped off. Its leg gets thrown into the crowd. And Hugh Jackman's like really bummed about that, but he also put a big bet on ambush, so he has to run away as quickly as he possibly can. And at that time, he meets some guys who seem to be people he owes money to, but instead they're actually from child services or something, because there was a woman who 10 years ago, Hugh Jackman was like dating or something. She died and then left Hugh Jackman technically kind of custody of her son, who I don't think has ever met before. I couldn't remember this.
Doesn't seem
Did he
like it.
Yeah.
I believe later he says he ran out when she was still pregnant.
Okay, cool. That makes sense. And he's like not equipped for any of this stuff. There's a mom, or not a mom, well, soon to be mom as far as she's concerned. This is the aunt of the child, and her husband, played by the guy from My Cousin Vinny, who is the automotive specialist, that guy's and everything. And they're clearly rich, and they want custody of this child. But technically, Hugh Jackman gets custody of this child. So he's like, I got a plan, because I'm a hustler and I need some quick cash. I'm going to tell them that he can have custody of the kid for some amount of money. Originally, he nails down I think $50,000 or $75,000 tag. But then after it is revealed by the uncle that they really want to go on vacation this summer, he's like, all right, I'll do it for $100,000, and then I will take care of the kid for the summer, and then you'll give him up. I'll kind of pretend that I want to spend time with him, but in reality, like, I don't want a kid. You guys seem to really want this kid, and I'm a piece of shit, and I need money. So it all works out for everybody. The aunt doesn't know this deal is going on. It's framed as a secret. I guess I understand why, but also I feel like she'd be down,
I don't know the money part. I don't think she'd ever agree to that.
I think if Hugh Jackman was like, give me $100,000 or I'll send this kid to child services or whatever, she'd be like, yeah, I'll give you whatever.
I think she would rather get into a legal battle then to like contest his parental rights and say he's not fit to be a father.
That's true, but that legal battle's gonna cost probably close to $100,000. Like,
yeah, but she hates him.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
She'd rather give $100,000 to some lawyers than to him.
That's a good point. And yeah, so he gets half of the money now, half the money later. So $50,000 in big envelope, and then he gets the kid. Now this kid, like you said, he was about 10. I think he said he's 11, but whatever. He's got a mouth. He's a real smart aleck. He wants to go off and do his own thing. And Hugh Jackman's like, no, I'm getting paid $50,000 to take care of you, so you gotta stay here and just don't do anything and fucking stand in that corner until it's fall. And the kid's like, no, I want to do robots, kind of. Well, but when the kid sees the robot that Hugh Jackman just bought, which is this fancy purple one named...
Noisy Boy.
Noisy Boy, yeah. Probably the robot besides the main character that gets named the most. Mostly because, like, half of Anthony Mackie's lines are Noisy Boy.
Noisy Boy.
But I think also one of the more interesting looking robots in the movie.
Yeah, I think so too. And it's this very... And like we said, like, his first robot was, like, a really dusty, kind of top-heavy guy. Like blue, but, like, hadn't been painted in a while. This one, very slick, purple, yellow color scheme, Japanese letters, I think, or something, and lots of, like, you know, cool, like, fresh paint. It looks like it's made of plastic.
I think you mean Japanese kanji.
Oh, that's right. He has those. And the kid recognizes this thing right off the bat. It's like, oh, shit, Noisy Boy. He won the 85 fight in Flint City or whatever, like, just making shit up. And Noisy Boy came from Japan, but then by way of Brazil, I think, or something. So it takes commands, because all these robots you have to fight with a little joystick, like tablet thingy. This one also takes voice commands, but it takes them in Japanese, I think. But Hugh Jackman has like a bunch of stuff. Like he has like kind of a list of things you can say to make it do stuff. And Hugh Jackman is so psyched to take this thing right down to Anthony Mackie's somewhat more legitimate, but still definitely illegitimate robot fighting ring and just make a shitload of money with it, because he knows this is going to work. And the kid's like, I want to go with you, but, you know, whatever. Also, Evangeline Lilly is there. She owns a boxing gym, it seems like, that her father used to own. Her and Hugh Jackman used to date, or at least be something. And he currently, like, stays there when he's not on the road, it seems like, and also houses his robots there and stuff. So Hugh Jackman goes to this big underground robot fighting thing with Noisy Boy, makes a big bet, and the kid tells him not to, but he does it anyway. He's kind of doing okay in this fight until he starts showboating, and also he gets like hit once and then he can't figure out what to do because of the weird controls. And Noisy Boy gets killed as a robot, which means it gets broken up in a bazillion pieces and its head falls off. Because this isn't really a Rock'em Sock'em Robots movie, but it does operate on Rock'em Sock'em Robots rules, and I think that's great. They're broke again. So what does Hugh Jackman and the kid do? They go to the junkyard, which is just a place you can break into and steal robot parts. And the kid almost...
Just like real life.
Yeah, I mean, I've never tried. And I'd be like, there's not a whole lot of robots around here. If I went somewhere where the robots were plentiful, there would be plenty of arms and levers and whatever you need to make a robot go. The kid goes and does his own little digging while they're there and stumbles upon a robot. And by stumbles upon, he falls off of a cliff and is caught by the hand of an old robot. This is a second generation, really made just for sparring. But the kid's like, I want to keep it. And Hugh Jackman's like, I don't want you to, but if you can bring it home, I guess whatever, it's fine. And this robot will be the main robot of the movie. It is called Atom. It has that just like kind of stitch on its chest, ATOM. And like it's like the most plain looking robot out of all of these. The kid really fixes it up. He likes it. It has two things. First of all, you can talk to it because he manufactures, using all of Noisy Boy's components, the ability for this robot to also use voice commands. But also it has a sparring function that lets you like mirror your movement. So hypothetically, if you had to, you could box alongside this robot and it would be able to do those things. Now, I know what you're thinking. I'm saying robot a lot here, and we kind of talked about this in terms of like Mithrigan and stuff. Is this an AI? Is this robot alive? Not really. There's like a little tiny hint that this one is, but it doesn't seem like they usually are.
Yeah.
It's weird. But yeah, like most of the time, what these guys, these are like, you know, RC cars or something. Like they have, you do have like a console where you press buttons and they do the moves. And like, I don't know, it does seem like the console button pushing is pretty good, but the voice commands seem really good. Like, I don't know. I mean, I feel like boxing video games always feel so slow and clunky. I'm not good at fighting games though, so maybe it would be different. Like in the olden days, or like in the future when we had all that set up. So the kid trains with the robot. He loves the robot so much, and he wants to enter it in a fight, but he can't because nobody will let him. At that point, Hugh Jackman has to go pick up some money from Anthony Mackie, which he does. And to do that, they have to go to the actual, Superdome or whatever, where all the big robot fights take place. And he walks by this one named Atlas, which is owned by an evil Russian lady and a very quiet...
its name is Zeus. Atlas is the Jennifer Lopez robot.
Oh, right.
Nice.
Yeah. They should have named it Atlas. Atlas is also, I want to say... what is Atlas? Because you're right, Atlas is that, but I also think, God, they ruined it by making that movie called Atlas.
He's also the Greek mythological figure who holds up the sky on his shoulders.
That's true.
All of Earth on his shoulders, Dickens.
Well, it's like a globe usually, but
he's holding up the whole thing. It's Atlas is all the way down, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, the world is flat.
Well, no, I mean he exists on Earth. Hercules goes to see him.
Whatever.
So I'm not positive about this, but I'm pretty sure there was. First of all, Atlas is the name of the Boston Dynamics robot, so there's that. But also, I'm pretty sure there's a game, like a robot fighting game or a robot fighting movie that's not this, where one of them, the big one, is named Atlas, but I don't remember what that is. But anyway, yeah, this one's Zeus. I guess Atlas would be bad because then it would be the third robot with an A name, and you don't want to do that. And Zeus is this big, sexy robot with like pistons for arms, and it's huge and black, and it doesn't look very good because it's the most funky of them. But yeah, it's run by this very evil Russian lady and the fanciest, very, very quiet, like most on his phone professional man who ever lived, and they're like the bad guys. The kid sees Atlas and is like, "Wowie, Atlas." Oh, excuse me. I just opened up the page that says Atlas robot movie on it. What movie? Oh man, this is gonna kill me though, because Atlas really ruined this. It used to be a thing. I'm sure of it. What robot games are there? What's the game? What's that game where you'd fight mechs? It's called Mech Assault.
Maybe
Mech Warrior.
Maybe. Oh yeah. So okay. So in Mech Assault, one of the bigger mechs, like it's like the badassest of the mechs, is called Atlas. So that's probably where I'm getting this from.
Okay.
But anyways, so yeah, the Zeus, everyone's favorite guy, is mean and is bad guy. The kid convinces Hugh Jackman to let him take his robot on the road to fight guys. So they go to a weird place where everybody's punk and weird. I'm guessing this takes place in Florida, but it's never specified, but it looks like Florida. And the robot goes...
I believe the Super Robot Dome was in Atlanta, so it could be in Florida they go do after that.
Yeah, that makes sense. This is like kind of a globetrotting movie. I don't know where the gym is, now that I think about it, like where home base is, but I assume it's within a drive of Atlanta, because they seem to commute. But anyway, so the kid's like, I want to do a robot fight, and Hugh Jackman basically, I don't give a shit, man. Go get your robot killed. I don't care. He gets like a pretty average amount of money if he stays in for one round, but he makes it to 2 rounds, then he gets a lot of money, and he's like ambitious. So the kid's like, we can do it. So they go fight this robot that looks like that Transformer that's like all the Constructicons Transformers together. It's got a big sledgehammer for an arm, and it's big and huge and has a face that looks sad or confused or whatever. This thing practically kills our guy, but then because of
Argyle?
If only the real Agent Argyle. Don't let him involved, because he's not a robot, is he? He's like
now he's much worse than a robot, Nando. He's a woman.
Yeah, and imagine if Adam jumped on top of this thing's face and did the whirly bird at it. That would fuck it up. They should teach it how to do the whirly bird. So this thing has so much heart, little Adam, that it wins the fight or something. You know how it wins this fight is kind of bullshit. It gets one hit in, and then it accidentally resets the robot to factory settings or something. The robot explodes, and then he wins. It's technically a win, but it's probably not the win they were expecting.
A win's a win. You get that cash.
Nobody feels good about this.
Yeah, exactly. But you take that cash, and the guy gives him cash. Guy with the spiky hair. So then the kid starts getting into it.
Full cash society.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I guess it's because it's illegal or whatever.
Well, in this alternate reality, instead of inventing electronic banking systems, they put all that brain power to inventing fighting robots. So it's, there's no credit cards, there's no direct deposit. It's mostly a cash-based society.
Yeah. It's the better society, if you ask me. That is, unless you owe 20 grand to a big giant guy, then you're in some real trouble. But the kid's basically like, listen, I've got a really cool robot and I'm going to do great things with it. Hugh Jackman, can you teach it how to box? Because it's kind of how this one works specifically. And Hugh Jackman's like, absolutely not. But then he sees the kid having fun and he's like, you know what? I'll try to do this in my spare time. And this is that montage that DJ was talking about. They fight some other robots. They do pretty well. And they make it, because they have won a couple of these, into the, big fight between the actual robots. And they get a little poster and stuff. So it's legit. They have an announcer guy who says one of the words loud, or long, like robot or something. And the kid has developed a little thing with a robot that was for fun before, but now it's become his gimmick where he dances with the robot, because all the greats have a little show. You got to give the people a show. It's weird, but it does keep coming up, so we got to mention it. Although it doesn't happen in the last one, which I'm like, there was ever a time to do a little dance, but whatever.
Make a little love.
Yeah. And you know what? A love between a father and his son. Not the kind you're talking about, you sickos, but there's growing a bond now because of this robot fighting. That Hugh Jackman loves this son that he didn't care about before. So that's great.
So are you saying the robot does do a little dance and makes a little love?
It does. It does do a little dance and make a little love. And it knocks guys down. It gets knocked down itself a couple of times. So that would...
I would say it gets down tonight.
Yeah, this tracks with the song. And, it doesn't play in the movie, but we all know it's playing in our hearts when the big fights are happening. Because the next fight is against a robot that we all kind of remember because it's the only other memorable one, named Twin Cities. It has two heads for some reason. These robots are powered by...
That's only after the big montage where they beat up a bunch of other robots.
Yeah, but those are whatever. One of them's orange. They're not that cool.
Those are scrub robots.
This one's kind of cool.
I just want to be clear that this is not the next thing they do. They have a montage of winning a bunch of other illegal fights.
Oh, sure. But yeah, Hugh Jackman for this, now he's fully in. He is taking the role of trainer / kind of boxing coordinator in the moment where he yells uppercut, duck at the robot. So he's really into it. The kid's just kind of there, but again, he's there for dancing. But because Hugh Jackman is the greatest robot fighter that ever lived and the greatest boxer that ever lived, he's able to understand how these robots work in ways no one else does. So he's able to catch little tells and then use that to win. The one Twin Cities, it's controlled by, I think, two guys, but all these robots are like they used to be that you would have a little kind of game gear or whatever that you would use to control the robot. Now, or I guess what is it now? What's the new thing? A Steam Deck, basically. But now everybody sits in chairs with big touch screens and shit and lots of flashy colors. And Hugh Jackman's like, those nerds don't understand boxing. They're just nerds. So that's the conflict here.
It's the F1 movie, or not F1. It's
what is it?
Gran Turismo.
Yeah, Gran Turismo, yeah.
All over again.
So the Russian lady also before this asked the kid to sell her the robot for sparring because she's mean. And the kid said, "No way, man." And Hugh Jackman was kind of like, "Listen, buddy, we're getting a lot of money here. We should probably do it." But then after he beats Twin Cities, the kid gets the microphone from the announcer and challenges the evil Russian lady and Zeus, the robot we all remember the name of, to the title fight. And because of this underdog thing that Atom has developed, everybody's in on it, everybody's psyched, and that's kind of the end for that scene. Fred, whatever his name is, not Fred, Kevin Durant shows up and beats up everybody, both the son and child, because of the money Hugh Jackman still has not given them. And then the parents take the kid home. Hugh Jackman feels like kind of a scrub. So he's like, "I can't even have a kid. I'm a scrub." So then he feels sorry for himself. He thinks about how much he likes the kid actually and how much he believes in himself now. He puts on a nice shirt, gets a haircut, and then goes to the aunt's house and asks to have the kid back for one big fight, because they're going to go fight Zeus, the big black robot that looks not that great. And then it's a title fight. You can never believe it. And the kid, he's sad a little bit, but then they bond. He says nice things about the mom who's dead now, and they go do the fight. This is a little thing that's happening on the side, but during the fight, Kevin Durant is racist and bet a bunch of money that the robot, the good guy, will die. Anthony Mackie is the boxing betting guy here too, even though he doesn't live here. Like this isn't his job. He works at the one next door, I guess, but whatever. And when Kevin Durant's guy loses, or when his bet doesn't go through, Anthony Mackie's guys, I assume, kill him. So that's pretty cool.
Right? We never see him again.
Yeah. The robot fight goes, the way all these go. But about halfway through, let's say, because there's 5 rounds, I think round 2 or something. The big one, a piston guy, Zeus, knocks Adam's head so good that it breaks the little communicator function. So Adam can no longer hear our main characters, which means he's going to have to use that mirror function from before. So Hugh Jackman has to dance around the ring like a little dork and shadow the movements so that Adam can do them. And so he gets, this wonderful moment of glory, boxes in front of everybody, and Adam tires out the robot, the big giant robot, but does not beat it. It goes to a decision that Zeus wins, but the kid is the people's champ or whatever, like Rocky and stuff. And then the family is happy. The end. Yeah. I assume he gets money after this, right? Like he's probably doing okay.
Endorsement.
Yeah.
It's probably good.
Oh yeah, he's rolling in it.
Mm-hmm. He can buy himself back from his rich aunt and uncle. Give his 50 grand back. And also Hugh Jackman has that moment where he's like, "I don't want your damn money," for the second half of the money, because he's a good guy now. So isn't that nice? Yeah, that's real steel. Is there anything I missed? Oh yeah, Evangeline Lilly kisses Hugh Jackman.
Oh right, it doesn't. Mm-hmm. It matters so little.
No. Yeah.
He breaks into her bedroom in the middle of the night and then starts cuddling her, and she's like, "We're together now."
Yep.
All is
that's
right with
the future
world.
for you.
Yeah.
Is that the future? It feels more like the past.
To be fair, Diggins, maybe he has a key.
Yeah, it's unclear to me what their relationship is like at any moment in the movie, because it's that same thing where it's like they're the only two people that ever seem to see each other. Like Hugh Jackman, I guess, has like casual sex all over wherever he goes, but back when the kid gets into the picture and he's kind of just doing stuff here, it's like, I don't know, man. These two hot people are probably going to have sex eventually. Put them in a room long enough. But yeah, let's do that wheel. It's great. Yeah. It's still spinning from before, so
it can
continue to spin.
Big spin.
Yeah, good thing you muted it so people weren't hearing tick, 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 tick this whole time.
That's the work I do in the back end. So I spun the wheel, tick, 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 and it landed on one of Diggins's drunkenly fumbling in front of random kids.
So the very first scene of this movie is a clearly hungover Hugh Jackman getting a phone call from someone he owes money to while he's fumbling with his pants, like trying to get dressed. And then as he's pretending to, also phone technology hasn't gotten any better. He pretends to break up by just like only saying parts of his sentences. And that works. The guy's like, your phone's breaking up. Guy who owes me money, who I'm got on the phone. I fully believe what's happening.
I mean, to be fair to him and to the movie, I can like edit a video on my phone and I still get dropped calls from like my mom when she's traveling through, parts of New Jersey. So like, it's not like I'm shocked. Someone brought this up recently, how much better every part of the phone got except for phone stuff. Phones stink now.
Phone stuff only gets worse.
Yeah.
Because now, anytime you get a call or a text, there's like a 75% chance it's a scam.
That's right.
That's true.
But anyway, then this scene immediately goes to, you hear some kids go like, hey, mister. We look and see that his back of his trailer that he lives in is just wide open, and he's been doing all of this in full view of some small children.
Yep. Yeah.
And it's like, depending on who saw that, Hugh Jackman, you're looking at some sex offender charges.
Yeah, man.
Not in Texas. He's got his special cards. This movie seems like a movie where the main character would have all the cards that would accurately state the laws, the really, really obscure laws that he could use to get around stuff like that. Now, these kids are like 6, but still, future Texas. It's not going to get better.
What they aren't telling you is that Greg Abbott has lowered the age of consent quite drastically at this point in the future.
If you have a robot. That really changes things. And at this point, he does have one robot.
That's true. The robot's not destroyed yet, so it's all fine.
Yep.
I don't have a larger point on this real slice. I just thought it was really funny when a minute into the movie, they're like, by the way, all that sleazebag stuff happened in front of these small kids.
Yeah, it was cute.
I have because I think... Nando, we were talking about the bullfighting right before you got to your the summary, because I had a point on that.
That's right. Oh yeah, we can go back to that.
I just very quickly. So, how often do you think the bull wins? Because I know the bull wins here because Hugh Jackman was bad at his job, like he was showboating.
Well, now it is implied that normally it's not a real fight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because when he makes the bet with Kevin Durant, he's like, let's, because he says like, oh, this bull's heavier than you said, right. For my $3,000. But he's like, all right, well, what if we do like an actual fight straight up and the winner gets $20K?
Right.
Which makes it sound like it was just going to be like some showboating and like not a real fight before.
Yeah. And I do think, I don't know about bulls, but I got to imagine if you had a robot and you were a human being, you could kill the bull, right? Like,
yeah, the bull isn't like smart.
Yeah.
The bull rushes towards you and you punch it in the face with a big metal fist.
Yeah.
It's not going to like dodge.
So Hugh Jackman is really bad at, because he should have won this like hands down, right?
I think he's out. I think that weight class thing really, really screwed with him. I bet he even knows like how big of a bull he can take to like fight, and he's like 2,000 pounds is not it.
Well, he started
like
real well.
Well,
there was like no issue.
Yeah, the problem. Yeah, he would have won if he wasn't trying to flirt with that woman in the crowd, so he got distracted, and then the bull took off the robot's leg, and it was all downhill from there.
That's true. I guess in my head, the robot is bull-proof up until a certain point. Like, no matter how hard the bull hits the robot, it'll just kind of bounce around. But if it's like a big bull, it could rip the robot in half. And like,
I was honestly trying to think about this. I'm like, how strong is a bull?
Yeah.
How realistic is this? And the answer is, I simply don't know enough about bulls to determine that.
Mm-hmm. They're dangerous. They'll get you. So
they're certainly dangerous. I do feel like perhaps the part where the bulls hard but still ivory horns do punch through the steel plating of this robot, and I'm like, that might not be real.
Diggins, what would lead you to believe it's steel? How do you know it's not cardboard, Yeah.
Diggins, it's in the name of the movie. It's real steel.
Or real cardboard. Yeah, maybe you guys watched the one from...
is maybe like an ironic name where they're like, oh yeah, it's real steel that they're fighting with.
That's possible.
It's real carbon fiber.
Yeah. How about this? Would you enjoy seeing this? Because we talked about robot fights before, but like the bullfight?
I didn't like seeing the fake CGI bull get punched. I don't think I would like this.
Well, as the resident animal hater, I would say I would enjoy any show where an animal gets ruthlessly slaughtered.
It's like I started watching this, and Hannah was in the room when we were like the beginning part, and she was like, I don't want to see this bull get beat up by the robot. And I was like, well, if any consolation, I'm pretty sure the robot's going to get killed by the bull. And I did not realize how many times the robot would like punch the bull like it's punching Daffy Duck or something.
Right?
Like the bull, the bull does not do great. Like I don't know how bulls' brains work, but this is a new kind of head injury for the bull, I think, and it's not good. But yeah, that's what these sickos do.
I do know bulls are pretty durable. In actual like bullfights,
right?
Matadors, they're actually already like stabbed a bunch and quite weakened before they ever let it go in front of the matador.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's more just like finishing it off than actually fighting it.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's a pretty cool like fight. I do think this is maybe the best looking fight in the movie, just because of the daylight and obviously the bull looks weird, but I think the ambush looks pretty cool. I like that.
He's an old rusted up piece of junk.
And he's got like a smirk. They planned to smirk into this robot because they knew it was going to be a real piece of work. I think that's great. Also, one other little detail I thought was fun here. This is only something that I would enjoy. Did any of you guys enjoy the part where did you get any rise out of when the guy who he owed money to was like, we used to box and I beat you up back in the day. Bam, I said, and you hit the floor or something. Either of you guys love that?
It was fine.
Do you know why you're supposed to have loved that?
Why?
I'm pretty sure that's a reference to the time Blob boxes Wolverine in X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Oh, what?
Because that's who those two characters were about 3 years ago in real time, really 2 years ago. And even like some of the things he says, like coming at you, pow, is what happens in that fight in the Wolverine.
That's nuts.
Yeah,
really
Easter egg for the fans.
For the real fans of X-Men Origins Wolverine, like you.
The real Steel fans, yeah. And this is one thing about Kevin Durand. I like him. I think he's good. I liked him as Proximus Caesar. He was good as that. He's a strange looking guy. It's just because he looks so much like Elon Musk when he wears his stupid cowboy hat.
He really does. I'm like, Elon made a way into this movie. This and Iron Man 2 within like a year of each other.
Oh yeah, that's not good. That's why he has the like juice to think he's the greatest man alive. He was in Real Steel and Iron Man 2.
Yeah. I was in all the robot movies before anyone thought of it. They just put me in the robot movies.
Yeah,
because they knew I was going to make the robots because of how cool and smart I am.
Look at my truck; it's indestructible.
Yeah. Now I do know it has aqua function or something that you could use to get it stuck in a lake. And he's been working for a while. I don't know if you guys watched Lost, but that was, I think, the thing that I kind of remember this guy from. Mostly
the robot.
Yeah, that's right. The robot.
Or Elon Musk.
No, the robot. The robot's the one. It symbolizes Jesus or something. You know how that Lost was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. This guy's one of the others, I think, or something on Lost, Kevin Durand. I believe he says, this is a quote of his that I think is funny. I don't think we talked about this in when we were doing the Planet of the Apes one, because I've not seen this quote before. But he said his character has some of the same tics as Elon Musk when he make Planet of the Apes. And he says, or like someone mentioned that to him, and he said, "That's awesome. I mean, even with the bonobo face, they compare me to Elon Musk. I get Elon Musk all the time. Actually, it's very funny. People approach me with a look in their eye when they realize they're not meeting an actor. They're like, that's something bigger. But the fact that it comes through even when I'm an ape is fantastic."
Love
Can you
it.
imagine
I love
being
it so
a big
much.
actor in movies and people think you're somebody else, like a rich man on, the richest man on
Right?
earth?
Ugh.
What a bummer it is that you're only from Lost.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Stinks.
but then there's a lot of other people where there's a look of disgust on their face
Right.
when they see him, and then they kind of like squint and look close and are like, "Oh, this is fine actually."
Yeah, no worries, officer. You don't have to come. It's Kevin Durant. It's not Elon Musk. I think if I was him, I think I would deserve a shot at killing Elon Musk. You know, I think he's earned it. Yeah, because then if he dies, no one's going to think he's Elon Musk anymore. Like if you get mistaken for somebody so much, you should get to fight him once to the death.
Ooh.
We need doppelganger rules, which
Yeah.
is that if there's a doppelganger, then eventually they meet up and one of them has to kill the other, and the other gets the winner gets the other's life.
Yeah. And Kevin Durant is humongous and obviously not Elon Musk, so I think he's got a great shot.
Yeah, so if Kevin Durant wins, he gets all of Elon Musk's money, all his companies, all of it.
Yeah. So Elon, balls in your court. I think you can do it. I think you got a shot. You can almost maybe kill Mark Zuckerberg or whatever. You were trying to do that one day. Remember that? He was like, I want to wrestle Mark Zuckerberg because we're both tough guys.
About that.
Yeah, and then
Mark
they were both like,
Zuckerberg
my
was
arm
like-
hurts, and then they can't. I don't remember what happened, but
It was one of the only times in all of human history that Mark Zuckerberg seemed like more of a real human than another person.
yeah.
That's true.
So, instead of that, do this. Elon, try to fight the guy from the Abigail and stuff and see if you can beat him. And I bet if Kevin Durant punched Elon Musk in the face, full like strength once, he could kill him.
Ooh,
He's a-
wow.
I'll show you a picture of Kevin Durant, and I think you'll agree.
I can't stop thinking of Kevin Durant,
Elon
the
Musk-
basketball player.
I
He's-
know.
Also a pretty big guy.
Yeah, but like, look at this. I just put a picture in the
I mean,
chat.
Right.
This is what we're working with here.
I would not say that he's a strong or in shape guy,
I
but
think
he is
that guy
big.
could murder him.
Yo, what the hell?
Yeah,
What
like he's
the
like
actual hell.
he's like a big tough action guy.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
One punch
dude's
is
ripped.
tough though.
I think he can. I bet all my dollars on it. I trust in Kevin.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
you put $20,000 on Kevin Durant in the Kevin Durant Elon Musk fight.
Double or nothing. 20 grand plus you get to beat me up in front of my kid and you get to beat up my kid. How about that? It's pretty fair.
Nando, you know what the core problem here is? Kevin Durant
What?
is Canadian, and he just wouldn't do that.
You would not fight a human being.
I don't think he would murder a man. He's Canadian. They're all nice.
Yeah.
I don't think he would necessarily be trying to murder Elon Musk. He just would.
What, by accident? Just some light manslaughter?
Yeah, because Elon Musk would be talking so much shit, talking such a big game. Kevin Durant would be like, all right, I mean, he must be serious, so I guess I've got to, give this my all. Gives him one full strength punch. Elon Musk dies immediately.
Yeah.
And Kevin Durant's like, oh my God. No, he kept talking about how cool and strong he was, about how he did 1 million push-ups every day.
Right.
I thought he could take more than a single punch.
Yeah, he would even Elon Musk could even bring himself out into like a big stage and say like, look, this Elon Musk is unbreakable. Here, I'm going to throw something at the Elon Musk to prove it. And then we don't have to actually see what happens because it would break the Elon Musk. But like that could be, maybe that's all the fight is. It's just him proving how strong he is. Also, I looked it up. Plenty of killers in Canada, including a serial killer who this year killed 4 people or something. So,
Oh, 4?
Yeah.
Not 4.
That's a lot. That's a lot. This guy seems like not a good guy. So, but also maybe Elon Musk can bring it out of a Canadian, like you don't want to kill someone until you really, like your brain is like, for the niceness of the world, I have to do this.
This guy's got to die.
Yeah, it's too much. Yeah, this was fun. I like this intro. I mean, let's just spin the wheel again. Tick, 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 tick. Landed on one of DJs. This is the UFC would like a word.
Okay, so the premise that we're told by Hugh Jackman's like little background of how robot fighting came up is that
oh yeah,
like the humanity craved something more. And it's that we reached the limits with how much humans can beat each other up. But robots, we could rip off their limbs and punch them endlessly. And there's no tap out, right? It's we can go as far as they want. And I'm like, bro, have you seen any like UFC fights? Because that shit is insane. Like
when
DJ, how many people have died in a UFC fight?
I mean, in like a UFC fight, like I probably little to none, but I'm sure there's some.
Then get the fuck out of here.
Now, how many people have died in a robot fight?
Yeah.
Also 0.
How many robots have died in a robot fight?
All
of them, it seems.
That's not your bloodthirst. That's just like, oh, robots are beating each other up. But like,
But we've shaped them like humans, so it feels like somebody's getting murdered. And this is my point, DJ.
We filled them with blood,
is not
too.
violent enough because the people don't die.
Yeah.
I just still think that, like, I watched a fight, I think it was on UFC 303, which was like 1 or 2 weekends ago, where a woman elbowed another woman in, like, right above the eyelid and cut her to the bone. There was so much blood, and the cut was like, the fucking medic was like putting her fingers inside the cut. That's how, yeah, exactly, Nando. That's how bad today's UFC gets. Like, I don't think we watched.
Did she punch her in the face so hard that her head fell off and exploded?
But it's a robot. No one cares, right? Like, give me actual blood. Like, if we...
DJ, you were talking at the start of this podcast about how much you wanted to see big robots fight each other.
No, I understand, but the reason for... I will not believe that the reason that humanity started robot blood sport was because, we just couldn't get enough of the regular human blood sport. It's like, no, because I want to watch like a 20-foot tall thing, find another 20-foot tall thing in an oversized ring. Like, they are solving they're solving different problems or they're like meeting different audiences. But like, I don't give me this like humanity needed more, so we went to robots.
I mean, this is what you get. Like, that sentence ends with, and then we started putting the people on roller skates and they kill each other in the ring or whatever. Like, not, and then we switched out the people for robots.
Yes, exactly.
No, I see the problem here. Nando, you actually watched the movie Rollerball?
Oh, Roll Steel? That's not what this was? With LL Cool J?
No.
Ladies Love Cool James?
No.
That's a shame. That movie's pretty bad. The one I've seen. I've never seen the original. But
I was talking about the original. Yeah. I wasn't talking about the remake.
The remake's rough.
I would more likely believe it's like, let's go back to, let's put lions in there with them. That's, that'll really, or like put like little human-sized robots in there who like also will come after them.
Yeah, make them look like people, and then it's like really messed up. But like, yeah, Uncanny Valley, that shit.
I think there is perhaps an unspoken addendum to this, DJ, which is we wanted the blood sports, but we didn't want to actually kill people. Wow. So we made robots.
But I don't know. I just feel like the robots aren't serving that need. Like, I don't care if I see a robot's head get ripped off. Like what does it matter? They put it back on later.
Then you are a cold, dead, unfeeling man who knows no joy in his heart if you don't want to see a robot get its head ripped off.
It's just I don't think it's the promise that they're telling me it is all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I agree. I also just don't think there's a world where we wouldn't just go because I don't think that's the problem. I don't think that's why the UFC is created in our reality. They weren't like, I need more bloodthirstiness. I think they were just like, that'd be cool. Everybody's doing cool fights. Yeah. Let's do that. I think if we did that, we'd just go, well, I guess, I don't know, we'll put the fights on a floating island or something, and we'll encourage them to kill each other. Like, there's no rules in this world anymore. They'll just do that. Do the murder
just
one.
Have them kill each other. That's true.
Yeah. Whatever. Give them knives halfway through the fight and see how it goes. But the idea that it's like, oh, we decided this was the only solution. But also, it is really funny how this is the solution to that problem and no other problems, right? Like, do these things also fight in wars?
Yeah, right.
They should, but also maybe they'd suck at it because they could barely take a bull. But yeah, I don't know.
Hugh Jackman piloting it couldn't take a bull. Have them be autonomous. Now we're talking.
Yeah, have a bull pilot. Have another bull outside the ring doing bull charging at it. Then we don't even need to have the bulls fight each other. It's strange. Where did these come from, by the way? Do you think people make these at home? Like, are they bespoke things, or can you buy a Noisy Boy like Model 2 just from Target for $1 bazillion? But like, could you do that?
Yeah, it's unclear to me what the governing body or the sanctioning mechanism for these are either, right? Can you build your own? Like, there's no weight classes, right?
No.
The Atlas goes up against friggin' Zeus, and it's just a massacre, so...
And there's no registration either. Like, Hugh Jackman, almost every time, just shows up with whatever robot, and then people are like, is that one? And he's like, yep, I got it from Japan. It's mine now. Like, you don't have to do customs
right?
or... There's no website. It's just whatever. So I think you could show up with like, what the fuck is that? And you'd be like, it's my dry cleaner, but with a big leg, and it's going to kick you and dry clean bricks at you or whatever. And then they'd be like, well, I guess that has to fly because we'll let anything happen in this league. I don't know.
Yeah.
I do love how, in the Noisy Boy fight, there's even one point where the kid is like, that's an illegal move, implying that there are rules in the official version. But, like, what are they? Nobody ever tells us. And also, the thing he says this is an illegal move is when Midas punches Noisy Boy in the Robo-Nuts, which, like, why would that be an illegal move? Who cares? They don't have Robo-Nuts. I hope.
Did they synthesize genitalia? Like,
yeah. That's a good question. And why would you even? Because you can, if your robot gets its leg cut off during the fight, you can keep going if you decide to, like Hugh Jackman does, and like other people have like robots that get, wounded and they continue. Why put all the shit in its head that you need to make the robot go? Why not put that in its tummy or something? Because otherwise, there's
truly no reason the robots need anything important in their heads. And another funny thing to me, this is later with the twins fight or whatever it is. The
Twin Cities.
Twin Cities, where one of the things Hugh Jackman says about why he's such a tough fight is like, he doesn't have a blind spot. Those two heads can swivel anywhere. And I'm like, what are you talking about? The people on the other side of the ring with all the controls are the ones who need to see things.
Yeah.
It couldn't matter less that the eyes of the robot can see you.
That's the other thing, is that there's no one unified way to control the robots, right? Hugh Jackman uses voice. At the end of the movie, uses fist or shadow boxing or whatever. But like a lot of them have the big screens and stuff.
Yeah.
And then the low-tech guys have a big-ass controller, right? Yeah.
They all have old Kinects that they've hooked up with a VMU.
I wish this was like kind of, and I don't want to compare this movie to Speed Racer because obviously it's worse Speed Racer. But there's one bit in Speed Racer where they try to kind of contextualize all of the car racing nonsense in history and show an old fight or an old race where they have like little stock cars, but they spin around like they do in Speed Racer, as if this is just a universe where cars have always done that. I wish that we were able to see some historical robot fights where people are using like semaphore to control the robot or something, or like, birds and smoke signals, because, that's what technology was, a series of mirrors or something. But they don't have time for that in this movie. Yeah, I don't know. I do think I would watch this. I actually think I'd kind of get into it if the characters were bigger deals. Because, like, they're all just big, strong robots.
Right.
But like, if one of them was, like, I don't know, what would you have to beat and be fun here? Like, the, Triple H of robots, or, like, the Stone Cold Steve Austin of robots. Then maybe I'd be able to, like, get into it for that reason.
Like,
I mean, they do already do that a little.
Like, They do, but we never see it. I don't see any, like, okay, if this was like Speed Racer or like another movie like this, like, what is it? Like, Little Giants or something, or Big Green, one of those movies. Every time you fought a new robot, it had like a gimmick and like a place it was from. So it was regionally kind of dressed. I think if all the robots had more of that, I'd be much more into it. And I'd be like, oh yeah, I'd like the New Jersey one who's wearing a tracksuit and has a bat, like that would be fun for me. But
I mean,
they don't do that.
You'd have to have the robots actually have personality versus the kid just coming into Fortnite dances, right? Like,
yeah,
if like the way for it to be like a Stone Cold or like a Shawn Michaels is like the robots would have to become professional wrestling. The robots are just doing mic work and stuff like that, which maybe I don't hate that premise on its face, but
I think the world this kid is set up in the future is going to be that, where like he is the people's champ and is known for just stealing the microphone from the announcer man and calling out the shots.
Yeah, I wonder if you need robot professional wrestling then instead.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Then you can work it out more. Then you can have like a real rock'em sock'em robot style where like you do an uppercut and the head flies off into the audience and like kills 3 people. That's the other thing. How are there not full like on cages set up like to protect the audience from all the debris that's clearly flying off? Like,
yeah, I mean, like I said, in that first fight, one of those people should have died.
That was a Texas rodeo where it's like that like the bleachers ready to fall down at any moment. This is like a professional boxing ring.
Oh yeah, we see maybe 4 or 5 different actual places where these take place, and they only get progressively more official and less safe because you start there. The next one you go to is the Falcons like little wrestling or boxing ring that is some sort of underground thing, and that has like a 5-foot tall chain that kind of circles with like a chain link kind of like fence around the ring, but not anything else. Like anything that gets hit will fly into the audience. Then we go to Florida, and that one is just like you could reach out and touch the robots like it's an alligator pit or something that they're fighting in. Like there's plenty of people who almost just get hit by the robot, but not like a random body part flies off, just like the robot is so close to them that it could hit them. And then it's like in a parking lot, I think, or something. Like people are like crowded around it. And then it's this professional ring, but the professional one is the robot that has a fucking piston for an arm that does big giant uppercuts. Like if anybody was going to punch the head off of one of these things, it was going to be him. But
it's true.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the blood sport that people craved, is people dying at the robot fight.
And that I would buy. That I would buy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, people still go to NASCAR.
Exactly.
Well, the cages they have around NASCAR are intense.
That's true. They've gotten pretty good ever since all those times that
people died.
The cars went out of the thing. Yeah.
So what I'm hearing is that every robot boxing match should be a Hell in a Cell match.
Yes.
Probably.
Oh, for sure.
Or you need a cage around the audience or something. I just like, it's insane to me that it's like, if you have like front row tickets, it's like you're probably going to die. Or just get wounded from like all the oil that's getting sprayed all over you. Like,
yeah, that oil's got to be fucking hot, right? Like it's going through a working robot. You might just get hit with parts from the bowl.
Yeah,
like,
right?
It's so dangerous. And like, I'm sure you could make a movie about like boxing, like or UFC fighting, or like, a NASCAR, where that would be something that someone watching the movie would say. But like, yeah, it seems like they've thought through none of the technology besides what if the robots could fight. Like it seems like this is the first day of this sport.
Yes.
And they're going to work all these problems out next year, but this is the year that everybody will look back on and go, what were we thinking?
Yeah, this is not
like. Their arms are made to fall off after like 3 hits.
Back to the drawing board on this one, guys.
Yeah. This was one of my questions, though. Could you just cover the robot in like Nerf or something?
Oh,
like you're not allowed to do that in boxing to yourself, but like if you could, why would you want your body to be like exposed steel? I
don't think Nerf would help very much against the full force of a robot punch.
Yeah, but it would help. I feel like it would like there would be some effect.
Just a little bit on the margins, like
yeah, that's where it counts. But But yeah, I guess then you can't show off all the fun, like sexy robot abs and robot pecs and all the real human body parts we have. And that's important.
It says people want the damage. People want the blood.
Want the
Yeah,
blood
that's
sport.
true.
That's all they're here for.
Even if DJ's a weirdo freak who doesn't want to see robots beat each other up and get destroyed and broken, that doesn't mean everyone else on Earth is.
I guess so. You got me there, sir.
Yeah, I mean, we all just saw it. So how many rage boners did you all get during watching robots punch each other's heads off? Because my bloodthirst was not satiated the way I was promised it would be.
Nando, I am still rock hard.
That's good to hear.
You could have
as long as there's one person on the podcast.
You could have done 3 Quibi episodes in a row that are just the robot fighting. Diggins would have been so happy watching on his phone, eating a sandwich.
He needs the personal stakes.
I would have died from all the blood rushing away from every other part of my body.
So I got to eat the sandwich quickly. And we need replenishment. Get some electrolytes in him now. He's gonna die. This man's watching too many robot fights too quickly. Spinning the wheel again. Tick, 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 tick. Okay, this lands it on one of mine. This is maybe this was my most pressing wheel slice. This is the thing that got me to take out the phone and start typing stuff as opposed to just kind of hoping I remember it. I'm going to just call this one top tier accent work. I think Hugh Jackman is usually pretty good at this.
Yeah.
But there were some points in this movie where he was just speaking Australian to this kid. Like the scene where after the fight where Noisy Boy is killed and they're sitting down kind of arguing at each other. That's the one where the kid's like, you're just going to throw him away like you threw away me. That's what you do, right? Hugh Jackman comes back to that kid with like, hey there, boy, let's not do that here. Like, it's so rough. I think, and me and Hannah, I made her listen to this too because I was like, I'm not going crazy, right? It's because he has food in his mouth. He's eating in this scene. And I think it's got to be really hard to keep an accent up if you have food in your mouth and you're yelling. But like, there's quite a few moments in this movie where the accent just does not hold up a little bit.
Hey, you twip.
Yeah. I've never seen it before. It's like
I totally missed this one. Holy shit!
Oh my god! I mean, I could tell you exactly where it is, and like I think there were a couple other moments I should have like timestamped them because I remember them pretty well. But like a lot of actors are like this, where like Cumberbatch does this a lot, where like he'll yell or cry, right? And then
Cumberbatch's American accent doesn't always hold up.
So that's
crazy.
Here's the difference with Benedict Cumberbatch. He does his American accent, and you're like, that's good. I think his American accent is actually quite good. But every so often he yells something, and you can hear it, and you go, that's not how this guy usually speaks. But you can't hear him say Britishisms. Like that doesn't pop out with this. And this is at 32 minutes and 45 seconds for anybody that's watching this at home.
Go now into this.
He's yelling at the kid, and like it's genuinely insane. But I like Hugh Jackman. I think he's pretty good in this, so I don't mind. But I don't think I've ever seen accent work like this in a professional movie.
I just listened to it. That's crazy.
This whole scene. What it is, 3315 is really the worst one, I think. Where he says, this place is where robots go to die. That and it does, I know it does sound like Australian because it sounds like a mixture of the two, one pushing through the other. But it just sounds so weird.
We should let actors just use their natural accents in movies from now on. And just anytime you want to cast a non-American actor in a role where they're supposed to be a salt-of-the-earth American guy, he just has an Australian accent. No one ever comments on it. Nobody ever says anything.
Yeah. Like in the Death of Stalin or something, Yeah. And it works there. It's great. I think. And it's not like Australia. You'd watch it and you go, wow, I don't really buy that this Australian is a rough and tumble fellow who likes to drink a couple more than he probably should every night. Like, it fits so well. If he were like, I don't know, French, I'd be a little confused. But yeah.
Little birds, this is where your robots go to die.
Oh my god, yeah, that's a different, yeah. That is a blood sport in And then maybe there is like a French robot fighting league that is just insane. But yeah,
where the robots fight people.
The robots fight people.
That's
the
what we
robots and the
want.
people make love. Like there is like, there's a strong tension between each fight where you're like, what's going to happen? Or is he going to punch his head off? Or are they going to just jump on top of each other and start licking circuits or whatever it is they do?
Whoa!
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, watch him lick those circuits. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is gone. You've gone too far.
This was too far out of all the other things I've said.
Well, this episode, right? You haven't started talking about your favorite topic, which we'll avoid. There's no way it can come up in this movie.
That sounds like a challenge, DJ.
Yeah, as someone who has the wheel in front of him, I could say it's gonna be tough. But I think one of Diggins's might be able to swing it.
It's got to be organic, though. You can't just say it because you want to.
Well, DJ, good news. It's that is most certainly one of the most organic things on Earth.
Like Australians fighting robots. It's a natural thing. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
You couldn't pay me to like. There's no way this sport didn't start in Australia, without a doubt.
Facts.
They actually, canonically, and this is gonna make just as much sense, started in Japan.
Yeah, that makes sense too. I buy that actually. Yeah, and they're close. They probably just stole it from them. But okay, I found the worst line, and this is so. It's 33 minutes and 26 seconds. I think it's so interesting. I might splice it into the podcast so people can hear it. I'm not going to do it now, but like if anybody wants to listen to it, it starts with just like.
And if that doesn't happen at any point, then you know exactly how lazy we are.
Exactly. Yeah. And like sometimes when you put them on YouTube, it like copyrights. I don't think it would copyright this because it really gets pissy about music. But yeah, 33 minutes, 26 seconds. Talking to the kid, pointing at the kid, says a line that is so Australian. I can't believe it made it into the movie.
It's been a long night. All right? You want to sleep indoors tonight? Shut up and get in the truck.
And again, I love and respect Hugh Jackman. He's one of my favorite actors. I like him in all these things, but man, this is just so weird.
Yeah, like not even ADR. It is full Australian. Like that, like, yeah that's it.
He says
and I mean, there's not even any shrimp in the scene, let alone a Barbie.
He says to the kid, look, listen, it's been a long day. And you're like, what? But maybe he just ends because he's got like a good, like he seems like he's a fun guy, good personality. He just probably goes like, all right, we nailed it. Let's all go get drinks after that take. Right. And then everybody goes, all right, well, they all want to do it. We'll figure something out. And by the end of this movie, they got way bigger things to deal with, like that the robots look, some of them don't look as cool as the others, so they kind of forget about that time this character was from Australia. But yeah, pretty cool. Spun the wheel. Tick, 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 tick. Landed on one of Diggins's. This is a quick trip to the Borderlands. And I guess just Borderlands. But yeah, how about that, huh?
Yeah, so we briefly step into a different movie when they go to the zoo to do Adam's first fight. Because they step up to the guy there, and instead of being like Kevin Durant in a cowboy hat or Anthony Mackie, just normal himself.
Yep.
We see a dude straight out of the cover art on a Borderlands game. He's got a big mohawk, like a gold tooth, and he's wearing like a vest and like other just like random junk. And he like spits on the floor and is like, I heard y'all were looking for a fight. Oh yeah, we down here, we go crazy for them robot fights.
I say.
Yeah. And
call me the Kingpin, boy.
Oh my god.
It's a weird name for him.
Yeah, I would be like, listen, I'm not trying to be mean, but I really think you should pick a different nickname.
Yeah, like you're like Spider Johnny or something. You don't get to be the Kingpin.
Like, Spider Johnny is such a baller nickname.
Any of the mafias he's even in probably don't have kingpins. They probably have other stuff, but like I don't think. Yeah.
And also, he's clearly not any kind of actual gangster, because at the end when they win the fight, after he double or nothing, he's like, all right, well, you won fair and square. Here's your money.
Yeah, right.
I'll come back now. Like, he's actually really nice for apparently running an illegal underground fighting ring.
Hope you had fun.
Yeah, I mean, everybody but him, I feel like, is more or less honorable. Like, everybody but Kevin Durant, is more or less honorable. I guess, you don't want to, you see this guy coming up. He's going to be a big star. You don't want to ruin your relationship with him. You want him to come back and be like, this is a nice place where I turned a robot into a big fire. And it was, they paid me. It was very nice. But if I'm Adam, I'm never going back here.
No.
This place, the drugs happening here are none. It's quite a few. Like, I do think, people that the thing that I said when I saw this guy was that he looks like the guys that Terminator steals the clothes from in the first Terminator movie, like Bill Pullman or whichever that one is, Bill Paxton. Just like, and like everybody in his crew kind of looks like that, but a little different. It's weird. You guys excited for that Borderlands movie?
No, heavens no.
No, I mean, look, regardless of anything about its quality, I've never played a Borderlands game and have no affection for that franchise. So, like, no matter how good it looked, I wouldn't be that excited.
But what would it be like if they had guns, but they also said bad language words? Like, that's pretty cool of like a movie.
Yeah.
That's true. Wow. And what if sometimes hold on, guys, get this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is pretty wild and out there, so I need you to stay with me.
Okay.
What if sometimes they like made fun of things that are normally in video games, but like you see a lot. So the writing was like, isn't it crazy and stupid that you have to press the action button to pick up this gun?
Oh, I hate that so much.
That would be pretty sick. That sounds like something that everyone will enjoy, and it won't totally kill the momentum of all these great video game adaptations crushing it. But who knows? Maybe it will. Maybe it won't. Yeah, the Borderlands. I do like this fight also because this robot is the coolest looking robot. Just on the fact that its gimmick is a gimmick.
Yeah.
It has cool hammer moves. So that's good.
Yeah. Can only complain so much.
Yeah. What was I gonna say about these guys? Because they did have something else that was weird about them. Oh, this fight, I do want to point out, this is the one where the robot dies, like Adam dies and falls to the ground, right. And there's like a moment of like, get up, Adam, get up. And the kid yells this because the robot can hear him, because it like uses his voice function, whatever. But also the kid just runs up to it, like he doesn't. This is how close he is to this robot.
Yeah, right.
He just walks over to it and is like, Adam. And then the fight starts and there's no time. There's no like lag time. They're just like going right back into it. You could easily just run in and get smushed by a robot or something.
Mm-hmm.
But
there's no like barrier at all.
Yeah.
They're just like at one point during the fight, Hugh Jackman is like, get out of the way, kid, as the robots are about to like punch where the kid was standing 5 seconds ago.
Crushed.
Now that I think about it, because they say this is the zoo, do you think maybe they had the robots fight all the animals at the zoo and all the animals at the zoo are dead?
Ooh, I like that.
100%.
Yeah, because I think...
And then they cooked and sold the animal meat.
Yeah, Florida robot gator fights would be the first thing to start. But then once all the gators get smushed by the robots, because they are pretty bad at killing robots, I would imagine, then, it'd be like the koalas and whatever else we got in that zoo. Let's see if we can throw enough of those at the robot to kill it. They go through that in like a weekend. So,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, all zoos would be repurposed to do this, especially the Florida ones. I spun the wheel again, landed on one of DJ's. This is accurate Fortnite dances.
So we kind of alluded to this, but the idea that, Hugh Jackman has to sell, can't remember the kid's name, but he's like, you can't just have a
Max.
Yeah.
You can't just have a robot who's a fighter. You gotta have a robot who's like, style. That's what all the
greatest showman. That's what you need. The robo showman.
And that's what all the great boxers did. First of all, not really.
Yeah.
Like Mike Tyson didn't have a gimmick except he punched the shit out of people, right? Like,
yeah.
You know, I don't think that's a little overstated. Like, again, more professional wrestling than than boxing. You know, Hulk Hogan, you know, putting the ear to the crowd.
And this is one of those scenes where they do that thing that I actually love in like very near future science fiction when I don't remember what it is, like the specifics. I'm just gonna make some up. But Hugh Jackman's like, all the greats had an entrance. All the greats had a big style. You had Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, Camvaroni, and the Robotron. They all did it. So, you know, we got to do that too. I think that's fun. The only time you can fuck that up, and they did it once, is when you go, all the great minds of history, you know, Copernicus, Elon Musk, all the great genius minds. They did that on the Star Wars or Star Trek show.
Or all those people who signed the Declaration of Independence.
Oh my God, yeah.
All those great people.
Like Robotron.
Robotron, yeah.
Robo president.
Robotron actually ended up being one of those time traveling robots, except instead of ending at the IMDb headquarters, he ended up in the American Revolution.
I mean, if I were Ben Franklin or something and we were signing it, I would just let it, you know, I'd be like, you could sign it too.
Do you know how we could defeat the British? Like, we could really use your help with this, Robotron.
Yeah, we were going to put some things in about like no parties, but we figured, will they get that? Like from the future, man, should we put any laws about who can and can't run for president besides just 35?
Yeah.
Robotron. That would be like there'd be like a 1-page constitution or whatever, and then like a 40-page robot addendum. It would just be the Robotron just like highlighting all of Earth's problems in the future. No planes get to fly on 9/11. That's one Robotron rule. I don't know why, but you put it in the Constitution.
I don't even know what a plane is,
yeah.
but it's been in the Constitution
Seems
for
like
300 years. So.
It was really insistent on that
also,
one.
more
Yeah,
oil
we
for
gotta
robots.
make sure
Just
that
give
doesn't
robots
happen.
all the oil they can have. Just drill for that oil,
Robotron.
baby.
Yeah, that's a good one. Oh man.
So anyway, so this
yeah.
kid takes Hugh Jackman's advice and he's like, all right, I'm gonna go up to the ring and I'm gonna do dances. And you know, in 2011 they nailed the Fortnite dances. They really did. He just goes up and he's doing his like fun little dances. And all I can think about is like, man, this is one of those things. Like, if this robot was like bad at fighting, he'd be like tomatoes thrown at him like all day.
Oh yeah,
like fuck you, Adam, you suck. Boo! Stop with your shitty dance. No one likes you. And it really what it really clarified for me is like, you know, it's just this kid's unlikable. That's all it comes down to. I'm not talking about the actor. I'm just talking about Max. Max is unlikable. There's not much to like about Max. You know what it is? They try to make him too much like an adult. And I wonder if this is like a thing with Sean Levy, because like same thing with the Adam Project. It's like, oh, I got the kid, you gotta make the kid an adult, But it's like there's like the one scene. This is a weird tangent about the kid, but I don't care. There's like the one scene where like he's outside the motel, like working on the robot. And he's got like the undershirt on with the grease on it. And I've been working these wrenches all morning, and I'm like, I don't want this, right? Like that should be Hugh Jackman. Like the
Are you sure?
The kids should be kids, right? Have the kids be kids.
But get the Hugh Jackman all nice and oily for DJ.
Yes, please.
Oh, yeah.
Whip that tank top
Not nearly
on.
enough shirtless Hugh Jackman in this movie. I think just one.
Yeah, and
is there even? When was the one?
in the beginning when he's drunkenly stumbling around.
Oh,
well, there's that, and there's also later when he's trying to hit on Evangeline Lilly before the kid is in the picture.
Yeah,
he's like, I'm gonna go take a shower. You want to join me?
That's right. I guess we should do this because of the wheel. I know it's not going to come up based on the wheel. Evangeline Lilly's in this movie.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're probably never going to mention her again because she couldn't be less important.
Her dad owns the boxing ring he works out of, or owned, or whatever.
Yeah.
That's about it. That's all
She's so unimportant that in the end, she kisses Hugh Jackman and it's like the big kiss. But then they do more stuff in the end in the ring and she's not there. Yeah. She didn't join back up for the big robot moments. She's just like, I got to do what I got to do. Got to check some of these boxes off here. So I'll kiss you, Evangeline Lilly, but that's all. But anyway, back to the dancing. Yeah, the dancing sucks. It's weird.
It's bad.
It reminds me of the Always Sunny episode where they do WWE and they're the chickens, and they have like a really bad like stomp clap dance that they do. That was what that was.
Yeah.
If they remake this today, you think we're getting TikTok dances?
Oh, absolutely.
We're getting like the stupid like swirly shoulder
flossing,
shit that the kids love to do?
dabbing, yeah, get all this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you just have to look at Sonic 2 to know
Yeah,
what would
right.
happen.
That was cool.
That would have been it exactly.
Yeah, I feel like this kid. What if this happened though? Like, what would the equivalent of this be? Like a race car driver who's not 10, but his dad is racing, but he shows up with the car and like gets the crowd pumped before the race.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that would fly. Yeah.
Yeah, this really feels like in the world of robot boxing, everyone's like, oh, this is like a gimmick though, right? Like not the dancing, like the whole thing. It's like, oh, the kid robot. Yeah, that gimmick fighter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
We're tired of him.
I do think if we make... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I really feel like there's another version of this movie where they start getting success, but then like people start losing interest, and it's like they have to learn to actually be good boxers because the gimmick's not enough anymore.
Yeah. And that movie would just be longer. So,
Well, in this version of the movie, I'm imagining we get to the kid being the fighter boy a lot faster.
Cut out all the Evangeline Lilly stuff and just go straight to kid being fighter boy.
Yep.
I don't need it. You just don't need it.
I was gonna say, if we ever remake this movie, which I think we should, I think there should be more remakes of movies that are okay versus movies that are great classics. We should take another stab at some movies where the premise is fun, but they just didn't quite nail it. I do think that like Atlas's introduction, where there's fire and stuff, would be one of those boxing introductions.
He can't do it, Diggins. He can't do it.
What?
You said Atlas again.
God damn it!
Can't do it.
Atlas, as far as I'm concerned.
You can't do it.
I mean, if when the remake, he'll be Atlas. They'll have lost the rights to Zeus. But when Zeus shows up for his big intro with the fire and stuff, I want like Mark Wahlberg to be there with him, pumping him up. They always have like random celebrities, fucking, 2 Chainz or something, and like the whole crew, and just a robot. I think that would be fun. Oh, that or robot dancers, women, or like robot dancing rap stars that are with him, just pumping him up. But something.
Well, like actual robots or like people dressed up in weird robot costumes?
I'd take either one, honestly. I think they'd both be pretty cool.
There was a boxing match. Was it Floyd Mayweather? He had the Burger King come in with him.
I kind of remember that, yeah.
That was good.
Oh my God.
That was good.
That was during the peak Burger King meme days
Yeah.
of 2008 or whatever.
Yeah, that was when they made Sneak King and all those other video games.
Sneak King. Bumper burgers. There's a bumper car one. No, the bumper one, and then the racing one that's just called like Burger King Racers. I had 2 of them. We never got Sneak King, which probably was the worst one, to be fair. So I don't know anybody that
Worst
ever played it.
or best?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, now I think I saw a video where someone tried to buy all of them. Have you ever seen this? Like, this person tried to purchase every single existing copy of this game to drive the value to zero or to infinity, turn it into a collector's item because people would sell them for like $1. So that guy's the only one that can tell us which one's the best. But yeah, I spun the wheel again, landed on one of tick, landed on one of DJ's. What are the rules of the robot fights? That's probably the most important nitpick here, right?
Oh my gosh. So
And we did already kind of talk about it.
It gets weirder as you get to the more official fights.
Yes.
So like definitely near the end. Yeah.
I just want to understand. Do you have my other one about the scorecard? Because I'll save that then to the end.
Sure. We could do that one too at the same time. Like they're next to each other on the wheels. So now just move it slightly, tick. And it's right halfway between what are the rules of these robot fights and insane scorecards.
So yeah, the fight against Zeus goes the distance, which is just hilarious for me in like this movie where it's like, and now we go to the judges' scorecards. It's like, that's how you're going to choose to end this movie? All right. So
yeah.
I mean, DJ, that's how Rocky
because
ends.
it's how exactly. That's the only reason I feel
That's
like
why
it's
they
'cause
did
of
it.
Rocky.
Like,
All right,
yeah.
I guess.
Well, even if that's not how they did it, like you're acting like no cool movie could ever end on a decision, on a win by decision.
It's the robot fighting movie. Don't have the robot fighting movie go to the judges' scorecards.
Or Rocky. I think Rocky would have been better if Apollo Creed killed Rocky in the end of that movie. You know, just punched right through his chest and heart. Or Apollo Creed got really tired and Rocky killed Apollo Creed. You know, just like did all the shit that Ivan Drago is going to do to him in 3 movies early. Why not?
All good options.
And we can do all the stuff that they're going to do in the future with his corpse. You know, or little Adonis Creed, his son, like a little baby, can run on the beach with Rocky. That'd be pretty cool.
No bad ideas in a brainstorm, Nando. No bad ideas in a brainstorm. All right. Well, anyway. So, in this lovely movie, Real Steel, it goes to judges' scorecards, and they're all scored close. Where it's like, if it's like 48, 47, 40, what about it? This fight was a blowout. Like, there's no 2 ways about it. Atlas gets knocked down
he did it.
3 times.
I'm not the only one.
Oh, no!
Yeah, I'm a hero.
No!
Vindicated. I am selfish. I am not.
Now, in DJ's, I don't know if defense is the right word, but in a lateral move for DJ, I do believe he just called Adam Atlas instead of Zeus.
I don't know which one he was talking about.
I was
honestly.
talking about Adam. Listen, he got knocked down 3 times. So
yeah, Zeus only goes down once this whole fight.
That's true.
So I still don't know how I feel about this.
Well, the good news is I'm still perfect.
You'll mess up. You just wait. It sneaks up on you.
We'll see, won't we?
So Adam gets knocked down 3 times in like the first round, right? That's gotta be.
Which, if this were punch-out rules, that'd be an auto lose.
Yeah.
Right? But that's got to be a 10-7 round, right? Maybe a 10-8, right? So we're already starting down like 3 down.
Yeah.
I have no idea how boxing scoring works.
Do you want to know? Because it's actually insane. So the way a boxing match scores is that, like, not talking about like how points are gained, but let's just say that like you and Nando are boxing. Let's say Nando got more points than you in the first round, and there were no major fuck-ups. Nando gets 10 points, you get 9 points.
Hooray. My strategy worked.
Right? So that's how you get after 5 rounds to like, like 40-something to 40-something. If like Nando won all of them, you lost all of them, it would be 50 to 45. But let's say that you get knocked down, maybe then it's a 10-8 round. Or if you commit a penalty, like you rip off a glove or bite an ear, right? It's like a 10-8 round, or like, I don't know if it can go as low as 10-7. I think it maybe can, but point is, you could have a larger differential if there are things like knockdowns. Adam gets...
But what if I get knocked down, but I get up again?
Oh,
it's still going to be a 10-8, my man. It's still going to be a 10-8. So then... Right, like Adam gets smoked in that first round. I'm thinking that's like a 10-8 round. He only really comes back in like the 5th round, right? Like maybe you give Adam 1 round and he wins the 5th round. Maybe he wins that one 10-9. So I don't know what these judges are scoring where it's that close, right? Because it probably should have been closing to like 49-46. I don't even think like 50-45 is that crazy. So I just want to know how points are scored, right? Because like, and again, I don't know much about boxing scoring, but like in general, right, it's like head shots, body shots, right? Like
cum shots.
Oh, there we go, baby.
I was waiting. I was waiting for my opening.
So like if you have your hands up and you're getting punched in the arms and hands, like we have that up, like that's not points, right? Like and there's like style, like I don't know, like style, but like it's mostly like how many body like headshots did you get, right?
Well, I feel like I don't know about style, like I don't know how style would work in this match, but I think when the robot gets to turn into super piston mode and just wails on you using its hydraulics, that counts as like 1 per hit. Like that robot is knocking up 200, 300 points that round.
Yeah, and in the last round, Hugh Jackman does a cool Superman punch, right? Like, was that double points? Like, all I'm saying is, I just want to know, how, like the rules are clear. There's no weight classes. You can control it however you want. Right, a lot of things are thrown out the window, but just like, how are they scoring the points? Like, how does that work? And how did we get to such a close scorecard? There's no fucking way.
Well, now, in all seriousness, DJ, how many points do you think you would get for a cum shot?
Nando, what do you think? What? And not what Diggins' question. What do you think? What do you think about literally anything else?
I don't think it would be very many points because I think it would upset everyone. But if it happened, I think it would be negative points. I think part of the job of the boxer and the boxee, everybody in the ring, is to avoid that happening specifically. And anybody involved loses points. I will say, as far as the scoring goes, maybe you lose like 5 points just shaved off the top if at the end of the match you punch your computer screen in anger. Like the refs look at that and go, "Uh-oh, that means he actually probably wasn't as good as he thought he was."
If I learned anything from challengers, it's that you can lose points for unsportsmanlike conduct.
Yeah, that's true. I would say it's got to be that, or it's boxing. It's fixed anyway. Who cares? The ref, she handed him the paper with what it was going to be at the beginning of the fight. The evil Russian lady who doesn't have anything but evil Russian lady in her script. And that's what it was going to be, I think that's fine. Boxing's fixed, whatever. So is Robo Basketball.
Boxing's fixed, and this is freaking fixed too. All right, it's true.
At least we have Robo Wrestling. That's
yeah. Which did you guys catch that? Speaking of that, because that's a Futurama joke, correct?
Yeah.
Did you hear they did a Futurama joke in this, but like for real?
No, they fucked up the Futurama joke.
Did you guys clock this?
I did not.
Yeah, no, they fucked it up. They didn't do it right.
I know. Do you want to say what it was?
So at one point, I think in the Twin Cities fight, they're doing the like wrestling announcements for the entrance, and when they get to Adam, they're like, "From parts unknown." Adam, blah, 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 which is God, who is that? Who is that wrestling?
Bender, I think.
No, the real one.
Oh, the Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah, that was it. The Ultimate Warrior was from Parts Unknown. In Futurama, the joke is from and made of parts unknown.
Yeah,
that's the joke when it's a robot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, obviously.
Maybe
what are these people doing?
Maybe they started that joke and then the other announcer smacked him and said, "You say that every movie. I swear to God, I'll never be another robot bouncer or robot wrestler with you again if you keep saying that." Because it is, it's probably the dad joke of these if you live in a world with lots of them. But yeah, that did really bug me that they tried that and didn't land it. Yeah. What else was interesting about this ending bit? I don't know.
I like how the crowd just got to storm the boxing ring in a thing that would never, ever, ever, ever happen.
Yeah, which would be dangerous if it was, I don't know, just people. But it's extra dangerous if one of the boxers might explode from being hit too much. Because its battery's on fire and nobody knows yet. Yeah.
You want to talk about something that would never happen in a boxing ring? Like putting 2 giant robots in it.
That part I believe. Obviously, Bloodsport, rules and stuff. Speaking of that, I spun the wheel again. Tick, 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 tick. Landed on one of Diggins' sexy robot ring babe. Remember that?
Oh, God.
Pretty good.
This is where you thought I was going to bring up the cum, but instead it was earlier.
You're just forcing it now, though. Like, it's just so forced.
What? No, I waited for it to be organic. That was a good joke, and you know it.
Whatever. I will not. I plead the fifth.
Wow.
That means he knows it. So in the middle, in this fight, in this final fight, and in no other fight in the entire rest of the movie, even the other professional one.
Yeah.
As we see the different rounds, there is a ring girl, or whatever the hell they used to call these. They don't have them anymore, I don't think.
No, they do.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, in the UFC they do. I don't know about boxing. Maybe they got rid of them, but they have.
Well, UFC doesn't count. UFC is for conservatives.
Hey, some of us libs like it. They might still have ring girls. I mean, at least in some amateur boxing, but
Whatever.
All right.
So, if you're like me and have never watched a boxing match in your entire life, and also have never watched a movie with boxing in it, or a TV show that referenced boxing, or just anything that would have ever made this joke, including old Looney Tunes cartoons, I'm pretty sure. They have a thing that between rounds, they have a sexy lady walk around holding up a card that says the number of the round that's about to start on it. Just so that there's some sexy lady you can look at in between watching big, vigorous, sweaty men going to town on each other.
Oh, yeah. Maybe.
Mm-hmm. So they have ring girls in this final match, but they're not just sexy ladies. There's sexy ladies who are wearing robot costumes and have had like their skin painted to be like a steelish color.
Yeah.
And it's so weird.
This is the Uncanny Valley shit that you were talking about before, Nando.
This is the stuff I like. I wish the world was a little bit more like this, like just dumb bullshit going on.
Yeah, this feels like it's from the goofier sci-fi concept that this movie is, instead of the present day, but there are giant robots movie.
I'm trying to find this actual actor's credit on IMDb because I want to see what they called her. Like what this actor, what character is. Because if it's like Robo Ring Girl, that's pretty cool. But I can't find it. There's a lot of people made this movie. Wow. I guess there's a lot of extras. And that's great. Everybody got paid. And they're all just in random spots. Like Japanese reporter too, and then biker in betting scene. So, I'll never find this woman, but yeah, that part's pretty fun. Also the UFC ones, I do know these are still a thing. I assume, just a guess, in like serious boxing matches, they probably still exist, but the women probably get to wear like clothing. In this, they still do it in like bikinis and stuff.
Yeah.
Which is, that I'd say is the most embarrassing part of it. But hey, that's the future we're gonna get. Good for us.
Yeah. I can't wait until the ring girls start being sexy robots instead of just icky women.
Yeah, I mean, I do think if the ring girls were themed in matches, there would at least be like, some fun. You'd see a match with like two guys from like, I don't know, Boston, and the ring girls would be dressed like sexy versions of like the Green Monster or something. That would be entertaining.
Yeah.
Like they get to make their own costumes, so they get to have some fun with it.
I can see the appeal for sure.
She also got color contacts for this, I assume, those look so uncomfortable. But also this scoreboard is sponsored by HP. A lot of good sponsorship in this.
You guys want some other good sponsorship, right, Nando?
The best sponsorship, I would say, in a movie in a while, because this spun the wheel and this landed on one of mine, because that's the one you were saying, DJ. Although I liked yours, DJ, but mine is better. This is Tick Tick Tick, the Bing Arena. You guys remember this?
Yeah.
Bing, the Bing Arena.
Bing
is
it.
there?
It's
right up there with the whatever it is, the crypto.com arena, or what's the one, FTX arena? Is that the one that's already defunct?
Yeah, FTX arena is no more, but
yeah. But which one are you thinking of, DJ?
Really? Why?
Oh, well, I was
too successful.
I was.
They didn't want to waste money.
I was talking about the amazing sponsorship that was inside the arena.
Yeah, what about that?
For a certain video game console, the Xbox 720.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I have a few.
Now, this was 2011 when this movie came out, so I guess you're still pretty far from Xbox One, and who could have imagined we would start calling him that?
But also,
this is before naming of consoles fell off a cliff.
Yeah.
Not only that, though, also the fact that this movie takes place almost 20 years after the original Xbox came out, or Xbox 360 came out. So they're saying that it would have taken 20 years to get to the 720. Would there have been intermediate steps? Like, such unimagination by
I don't know.
Our Xbox
That's a good question.
I've been looking. I'm pretty sure this movie takes place in 2020.
Is it really 2020?
I think so.
Wow, they got COVID super wrong.
Yeah. Well, maybe with robots we wouldn't have to have had COVID.
Yeah.
Maybe that says something about where we actually got COVID from secretly. Was from our non-robotic boxers. Trying to find the rest of the things in this arena. Most of the shots don't have all the sponsorship. Besides Bing, of course.
I mean, let's just say it's 2020. It's still, I don't know. I just think a very funny thing. Just like, Xbox 720, that'll exist by now, 9 years later. They really went 9 years in the future for robot fighting. I thought they went much further.
I think we could stand up robot fighting in 9 years if we really put our all into it.
If that was the only thing society, like the only advancement society was focused on making, we did nothing but go for robot fighting, which appears to be the case in this society.
Yeah.
I think we could do it.
Listen, Joe's kind of lost me, I'll be honest, but if his moonshot was, I want us to all Americans have robot fighting in our cities, I don't care how many times you accidentally say you don't like your own policies, whatever. You're getting my vote. Whichever candidate comes out for robot fights for every town.
I mean, that's fair. And if they can fight bulls, let's go.
Oh my God, yeah, that's. I mean, that would be pretty cool. As long as the bulls don't all get murdered, then I wouldn't like it. But yeah, gotta break some eggs, I guess. Also, Sprint advertises in this robot arena. Does Sprint
the new
exist
show on
anymore?
Netflix?
No, is that a show?
Oh yeah, have you not heard about this?
No.
Yeah, it's a show about running.
Oh no.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Let's see. Isn't it any good?
Sprint went out of business in 2020.
Yeah. Whoa.
So this was its last gasp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They wasted all this money on the
spent all their
robot
money
fighting.
on Bing Arena.
Wait, now that I think about it, Cadillac still exists, right? They must.
It does.
Okay, because if they didn't, and they're on their way out, I have a feeling.
Really? You think this is it for Cadillac?
I mean, I don't think Cadillac's like. I feel like Cadillac seems like one of those brands that was like crushing it in the 80s and has been on the steady decline ever since.
I think they're okay.
I can't imagine their numbers are great. I mean, when was the last time you had anyone who owned one?
Apparently, 2019 was the year they sold their most vehicles ever.
Wow.
So
Really?
I don't think so.
Incredible.
Wow, I would never expect that because I feel like the heyday of Cadillac for me was back during the like rapper age.
Great Depression.
Well, maybe that too, but yeah, that was all where I don't know Cadillac or new Cadillacs from. But yeah, you're right. They're doing okay. Although to be fair, 2008, their share price was about $9 or something a share, and now it's at 50 cents. But that's been pretty much true for a while.
The stock market's also fake, so
Yeah, the stock
can't
market
trust it.
So yeah, it'd be funny if all the sponsors for this were bad things, like things that no one liked and all died. I'd really enjoy.
Yeah,
that.
like Spectrum.
Yeah, Budweiser. A lot of Budweiser in this movie.
A lot of Pepsi too.
Mm-hmm.
Which is now the number 3 soda in the U.S.
Behind what?
So it's also on the way
behind
out.
what?
Dr. Pepper.
Oh,
Really? That feels impossible.
Well, it was for a little bit at least. I don't know if it's still true. But it happened this year, so I imagine it's still true.
Man.
How about another thing that gets name checked in this? Virgin Galactic? Does that still exist?
It's gotta, right?
Yeah, it does technically, but I have a feeling it's not doing super hot since I cannot even imagine. Like I have not heard about it in a very long time. Although, you know what? Maybe it's going great.
As long as Richard Branson still draws breath,
Yeah.
Virgin will never die.
And I like that. I like that about him. That he's a weirdo. I mean, he was the first of our space weirdos. Now they're all space weirdos, and it's no fun.
Well, he did it before it was cool, I guess.
He did, yeah. Oh man, yeah, sexy ring babes, Xbox 720. This movie has it all.
Yeah. Everything a sicko like DJ could desire.
Right.
Yeah. I'll spin the wheel one more time. Just one other thing that I put on the wheel that I forgot about before. This movie has a soundtrack featuring a fair amount of Eminem, which I think is fun because as a fan of 8 Mile, one of my favorite movies, everyone knows that. It's funny that the first time for me we hear an Eminem song is when we're going into the scene with Anthony Mackie, who was in 8 Mile. The computer is having a really hard time with this one. Do you guys hear me?
You cut out.
You can now.
Okay. Where did I cut?
A soundtrack that features a fair amount of...
Oh, okay, great. Then I'll just do that bit again. There's a soundtrack that features a fair amount of Eminem, a couple of Eminem songs.
Yes.
Which is interesting.
The finale is in Detroit.
That's right, yeah. And robots are like an American thing, pistons and whatnot. But I think it's funny because the first time we hear it, I think, is when we're going to Anthony Mackie's house, like his robot fighting ring, which seems mean to have Papa Doc get embarrassed by Eminem a second time, you know? Like, he'll never be able to shake that. But I wonder if he's good friends with Eminem now. Or if Eminem made him look like a real chump in his movie and now nobody likes... Like, there's a lot of people who just can never respect Anthony Mackie because of 8 Mile. I don't know.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Are you one of those
anything
people,
else?
Nando?
I mean, maybe I don't know it. I've never met him. He's from New Orleans, so I like that about him. But, you know, maybe if I met him, there'd be a, like, shiver that comes down my spine I wouldn't be able to describe until I see him, you know, try to do a rap battle, and I would be like, oh, my God. It's exactly the prophecy has come true.
It's impossible.
Yeah. But, yeah, so Real Steel. Anything else? There's a lot of things on this wheel, but to cut a little bit short.
I think we covered the salient points, right?
Yeah, I agree.
It's kind of a weird movie, but you know what? I like it.
Yeah, would you like I'd actually probably like to see, you know how like Peacock loves to make movies nobody asked for into shows and stuff?
Yeah.
This is one that I actually think could be fun.
Yeah, I see it.
They should think about that.
You know who could have done it? Quibi. Quibi could have
Yep.
had a Real Steel show.
Yeah, and
They
it would have
could have.
sucked.
Dare you?
No, it would have been great. It would have been nice and
Dare you.
short.
Yeah.
It would have, you know, Idris Elba would have loved this shit too. He could have been the main
Yes.
guy. It's right up his alley.
He could have been Stacker Pentecost.
That's right. Yeah. It's everything he loves. Racing cars V-block versus big giant robots. This is such his speed.
Right up his alley.
All you need is DJing, and he's like all his favorite things combined, and gold. He loves gold. You guys want to get to our classic segment?
I would love to get our.
I would love to. Right after I just do a quick shout out to our boys Adam and Zeus, the two robots in this movie that I have still never mixed up the names of.
Yeah, you're so cool, Diggins.
Very,
There's no
very
one
cool.
cooler than you.
Although I maybe people could go back and hear if Diggins said Adam or Adam, you know, because that is different technically.
It's hard to tell with my New Jersey accent because I kind of just say T's as D's.
Yeah, what we need is a fine Australian accent. Weaving in and out of New Jersey to
You're gonna
really
die.
figure out what you were going for. But
All right. Well, thank you
Yeah,
for
so-
that, DJ.
You're welcome.
so DJ,
Diggins.
would you like to recommend anything to the fine people?
I sure as hell would, Nando. I got another board game coming at the folks this week. It was a busy week, but got time to just like try another quick board game that was added to the collection recently. This one is way up my wife Michelle's alley and IP out the wazoo. It's the Disney Haunted Mansion board game.
What is that? Is it like
based on the
Candyland?
hit movie?
Yeah.
You know, it's not based off that. So, you know, it's got it all. It's got it
Does
all.
it have hamburgers or hot dogs or whatever they talk about constantly in that movie? There's a lot of food in that movie.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot
Remember
about
that? That was weird.
Now, hold on. Is it based on the hit Lakeith Stanfield movie or the hit Eddie Murphy movie?
Oh, yeah.
So you're not going to believe this, guys. It's actually based on The Ride, if you could believe it.
What?
I know.
Wow.
I know. Shocker.
So
I don't
what kind of
get
game
it.
is it?
So it's like it's kind of like a collecting. It's just like kind of like a little like collect and move or move and collect game. So you're in the haunted mansion. You start off at different points, and you're collecting ghosts like along the way. So just like roll and move. It's like very basic. This is like you're getting down to the just kind of like family game night kind of deal. So you're trying to collect ghosts. The ghosts have different powers. You're trying to avoid collecting too many haunts. If you get too many haunts, you lose. And it what?
What's the difference between a ghost and a haunt?
Come on, Diggins. A ghost is a little friend that you take with you, but a haunt is like, you're getting haunted.
That's Jared Leto. That's how you know. It's like, this is a haunt.
Oh, I would certainly say that I'm haunted by Jared Leto. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it's very low concept, but it's super quick. It's nice, like palate cleanser between games. But I would say this is one you would put in for like a family game night. Like you want to play with your kids, or like maybe like parents who like want to just play like a quick, easy game, something that isn't too like crunchy. And obviously my wife falls into this category. If you're a fan of like Disney and the Haunted Mansion, anything adjacent, then this is going to be in your lane, because like all the rooms look like the rooms from the ride, and it's just this like kind of cute little thing. It's not too expensive either. I got it for like $20 on Amazon, so lower-ish barrier to entry there in that case too. But I see like big IP board game, I'm like no way. But the Dice Tower actually had like a solid review of it, so I decided to pick it up because I saw it was on sale, and Michelle liked it. So yeah, definitely a good find and a good play. I will say we only play it with the two of us, but we imagine it plays better at higher player counts, because at 2 players you're just kind of avoiding trying to grab the haunts, because then you kind of just like definitely lose. So we're probably more variance with higher player counts, but still fine with 2. So yeah,
that's cool. They should make one like that one game where the computer yells at you, and have Danny DeVito record some classic lines or something.
That would be good. That would be good. Diggins, do you have anything to recommend for the fine folks?
I do. So I've set a little project for myself. Project's not the right word. I've set a little activity for myself, shall we say, where I have heard so many good things about him over the years, but I have, other than when I watched Ferrari the other year, I have never watched any of the filmography of Michael Mann.
Oh, because of Twitter?
Did something come up with Michael Mann on Twitter? I mean, other than the fact that I've often seen people praise his work on Twitter.
Oh, yeah. There was a big Michael Mann thing on Twitter where someone on Twitter was like, my boyfriend showed me Miami Vice. And then everybody was like, your boyfriend's an abuser or something. I don't remember. It was a big Twitter thing for a day. Now Miami Vice is playing at the IFC Center in New York. So if anybody wants to go see it this weekend.
Oh, shit. Really?
Oh,
yeah,
fun.
that's what I hear.
I should maybe do that.
I mean, I would be surprised if it's sold out, because this, for some reason, got a lot of attention. There's tickets available for the 12th and the 13th. I've never seen it.
Those days, but we'll see what I do. We'll see what happens.
It's basically at like midnight too. It's like 11:45. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm a piece of shit, so whatever.
Exactly.
But no, okay. So I've never watched any of the filmography of Michael Mann, and I decided so I should fix that and go back and watch his movies. So I started from the very beginning and watched his debut feature, Thief.
Yeah.
Have either of you guys ever watched that?
No, but I kind of remember. Who's the guy in it?
James Caan.
Yeah. No, I've never seen this. It looked cool.
It is cool. So it's very much in the style of like the neo-noirs from like the 70s and the 80s, where it's like very like neon drenched and very dark, like grimy and kind of dark, both in terms of the lighting and also in terms of the content. But it's a classic like One Last Job kind of story of this guy who's like this expert safecracker and like jewel thief, who's decided that he wants to get out of the game. So he's just going to do one last big job working with this mobster so that he can retire, get married, start raising a kid, etc., etc. And I mean, honestly, that's like the main gist of the plot. Like everything else from there is more or less a spoiler. But even like as his first movie, I think you can already really tell like what people like so much about Michael Mann. Like his work really gets to sort of like the grime inherent in that sort of like crime thriller, where it's like it's cool and fun to watch and like tense, but he never loses sight of the kind of person who would actually be involved in this, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like the main character of this movie is a pretty terrible person, all in all. And yet at the same time, like you see enough of the sort of like the wounded, like what made him be this way. Not in the sense of like he talks about all his trauma all the time, but just like seeing the forces that sort of in society that sort of like shaped him. I think in a really cool and like subtle way, I think the movie does a great job of that. And I mean, everything else aside, it's just a really good, fun, like, or a really good, like, tense, heist movie. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's Thief. It is currently on the Neo Noir collection on the Criterion channel, which is where I watched it. So if you have the Criterion channel, you could check it out there. What about you, Nando? Do you have anything to recommend to the fine people?
Yeah, I watched a couple movies this week. So first one, I can't remember if I wrecked this on the pod last week, which I'm going to put out later tonight. But did I recommend My Cousin Vinny? Did I say that?
You did, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Still good. I liked it still. It's a great movie. I don't think I recommended. Did I recommend Beverly Hills Cop Axel F?
I don't remember.
I don't think I'd watched that by the time we recorded. So I watched the new Beverly Hills Cop movie. I enjoy those. This one's like those. Eddie Murphy's great. The movie itself is fine. It ends like all those end where they run into a place and just shoot everybody. I don't know. It's not reinventing the wheel. I think it's okay. I think Kevin Bacon's actually pretty fun in it. But like, it's like one of those movies where it's like Eddie Murphy's just good at this, being Axel Foley and being a guy who, runs around with a gun, breaks all the rules, and then fast talks his way into, a hotel room or something like that. So that's fun. I don't think it's like definitely need to watch it. It's probably not even the third best. It's probably the third best Beverly Hills Cop movie. So there's that, but it does exist. I, for the first time 2 nights ago, Hannah and I were looking for something to watched Twister, the first one, not the new one with 2, the one with just 1 twister. Just kidding. There's like 8 twisters. So this one could have been twisters, but it's not. This is the one with all those people that we talked about before. It's mostly about a man who's itching to get divorced as quickly as possible. Nice. He goes with his new wife to get the divorce paper signed from old wife. It's fascinating how divorced this man is. I think it's great. I had a really good time with this movie. It's very stupid.
How many Elon Musks would you give him?
Oh my God. I mean, like 2, I would say he's got 2 out of 5 Elon Musk just by the basis of he doesn't have any kids that he, can fight over and whatever and get mad when they become trans or whatever it is this deal is. But like, just in terms of the actual, like, people want to marry and then immediately stop marrying this man, pretty good amount. He's great in it. I think he's awesome. His whole crew is fun. It's a really good Philip Seymour Hoffman role. And some of the tornado bits look great. Like, I think that story makes more sense because they're like trying to use their tornado machine to like get more information about tornadoes and stuff. Whereas in this one, it seems that the new one, like Glenn Powell is like a tornado junkie who like goes into tornadoes and like just goes. And I feel like that might make a more like a slightly less compelling character. But yeah, I'm not surprised this movie was a pretty big hit when it came out. And yeah, it's pretty cool. The only other thing I watched, which I haven't finished, I can't wait to finish this, but I did want to hold off on it, is have either of you guys ever seen Joe Perra stuff?
No.
I've never seen it, but I have heard many good things.
Yeah, so like if you're familiar with him, because there's a good chance you've seen him and stuff. You've definitely heard him and stuff because he was in Elemental. I believe he was the rock man who worked at the building or something. But his whole deal, and he's part of that same class that like Tim Robinson and Connor O'Malley are in, where they're really offbeat comedians who are like, his deal is he just kind of pretends to be like an old man who's really boring, but he does jokes and he's just insanely funny. Like this guy is it's incredible. I watched the show once, didn't love it, but his stand-up special that is on YouTube is so funny. I don't remember what it's called, but I'm sure I'm gonna just Google it real quick. But it's just such an interesting character. I'm surprised it works as well as it does. Slow and Steady is what this one is called. And it's nice because there's a lot of guys like this who just put their whole stand-up show on YouTube for free. And
nice.
Yeah, I would recommend it. You have to like get in on it. I would say like give it a good 10 minutes to like start working. But once it starts working, it's something special. What are we doing next week, you guys? And keep in mind, the Russell Crowe Exorcist movie hit VOD the other day, so just keep that in the back of your mind.
Oh my gosh, please.
He won't stop. He has to make one every year, otherwise he dies.
That's the deal he made with God.
Yep.
I don't know. I mean,
the Russell Crowe Exorcist movie is so tempting. It's so tempting.
Yeah, I feel like I heard from some people that it's kind of fun.
I feel like we have to. Like an obligation.
Yeah, I think so too. The only question is, will Twisters be such a humongous hit and be so weird that it would have made a good episode? We can always just do that later.
Yeah, it's true. That'll be on VOD soon enough also.
Oh yeah. Deadpool will crack it right out of all the movie theaters,
yeah.
And then it will go straight slither right to VOD. So that sounds fine. Maybe Exorcist. We'll see. If anybody has great ideas, let us know. But I feel like there's a good chance it'll be that. DJ, do you have anything to plug?
Just Roses and Rejections. Doing new Bachelorette season, and there was a fun Deadpool commercial.
I saw that, yeah.
On the most recent episode of The Bachelorette, and I loved it so much. I was shocked when it came across my TV and just got to watch it organically over good old terrestrial television. So that was nice. It was very fun.
A couple of people tweeted me about it that I predicted the future by making my Wolverine fan casting video into The Bachelor. And I had a whole Bachelorine logo ready to go for Twitter. So
yeah, there you go.
That's what the Twitter loves. That and Miami Vice.
And Hawk Tua.
And Hawk Tua, who I just learned about today. Very exciting. She's going to be a big star. Get that bag, girl. Do what you got to do. You know, not like do what you got to do, but like, you know, don't let anybody shame you into taking your reality show money. Get your reality show money.
She made it very clear that she does what she's got to do.
And that's great. I'm happy for her. Diggins, do you have anything to plug?
My friend's game, Times and Galaxy. By my friend's game, I mean they worked on the character art and character design. Is still out on Steam. You should check that out. It's a really cool little sort of point and click adventure type thing where you're a little journalism robot in space. What about you, DJ? Anything to plug? Is that the question that you should be asking Nando right now?
Yeah, that's an Atlas moment if I've ever heard one. I would say, as the recipient of that question from DJ, as proposed by Dickens, I have some videos that went out. I have my new Marvel Snap video because it's a new season. So we got one about Gwenpool, who's the new character for the season pass card, and a video about Hydra Bob, who is the first character that comes out this week that everyone hates because the card's bad. Next week is Ajax. That one's on Nebula now. I think he's actually pretty interesting. This is the character that is the bad guy in the first movie, but like in the comics, there's a lot more going on with him. Not like he's an interesting character, but he's kind of fun. Yeah. And as far as video stuff, I have a feeling between now and next time, and I have to say this will be like famous last words, but my Magneto and the Brotherhood of Mutants pitch is going very well. So that video will probably be on Nebula by the time we do the next podcast, which means my In Defense of the X-Men Movies Nobody Likes video will be on Nebula, or will be on YouTube. So you'll be able to watch that. And we're getting in X-Men mode, baby. Wolverine's on The Bachelor. It's the whole world. We're getting another 2 weeks of it, and then everybody will be sick of it. So enjoy it while you can. And yeah, until next week, I've been at Nando V Movies on Twitter.
I'm at Zippy by Day.
I'm at This Is an Odd Name.
Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Peace.
Bye. We love you.